and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. I have taken a small sabbatical from playing chess because I have been working and moving houses, and I'm not going to show you the camera, but I am in a new room. As you notice, the colors of everything has changed. So we are playing in 1830 with the open Sicilian. So he's going to just go ahead and develop this knight, or not. We're still going to try and claim the center, make this little trade, and let's see what happens. So he develops the knight, we're looking at each other, and this knight becomes a liability real quick because he has ideas of bringing the queen out, applying pressure here, and applying pressure to my weakest square at my position. So what we're going to do is just promptly trade that off, and I feel like we have to do this because we're going to walk straight into that. And like I said, this now becomes an issue. I can fork them and defend this all in one foul swoop, but it did not solve the problem of this. So we're going to go ahead and castle first. That's an interesting move. I like that. It supports the center so that if all of this happens, he can replace it with a knight. But we're going to go for this, the forking idea. Plain and simple, we're going to go ahead and fork these guys and grab this guy. Queen comes back. We can now develop a bishop with tempo. And out of the opening, I think our opponent has made a minor inaccuracy. This attacks my pawn in the corner. This is soon to be the open file. So I can push a pawn and really try and claim the center. This is also a little bit under attack. So what am I supposed to do here? Definitely don't want to lose a pawn. We bring the queen up. That solves the problem. So I'm not going to think about it anymore. That defends the pawn. It gets in the way of this, and it forces a queen trade. And now I'm kind of just going for this. So like I said, we're going to go for this. Now I have the bishop pair, is one other important thing to note. Going here immediately attacks this knight. It kind of forces one of these moves, and it's just going to be getting me hyped up for this long diagonal in the endgame. So I'm kind of liking the idea of having this structure just in the endgame. We're going to just take a brief moment to make sure this knight's not coming forward and attacking my stuff. He's also not going here because of my beautiful, beautiful defensive pawns. So, right now in this position, we can ruin his pawn structure. I'm not really convinced that that's all that great for us. I somewhat like the idea of just throwing a pawn in the center. Kind of questioning him, what is he really going to do? He has to make some sort of stepping back move. Still, these squares are defended by my beautiful, beautiful bishop. So it sort of attacks this, but it's defended, so we don't have to worry about it immediately. This becomes an idea. This becomes an idea. Go ahead and pin the knight, then all of a sudden this becomes a threat. Castling, but then I take, it opens up your file. But then we're in an opposite colored bishop endgame. So I'm not sure trading off my bishop here to ruin the pawn structure. I had the opportunity here, and I have the opportunity here. I think the opportunity here is a little bit worse because then we're left with opposite colored bishops, and we're going to be heading towards a drawish position, which I don't really want to do. So, seeing that this is going to be the open file, I'm going to slide up so I can put my dark square bishop looking at all these dark squares. And this knight is just going on a spiritual journey. But we're going to tuck my little bishop back here, nice and safe and tucked away. Now I've got this bishop. And what about trying to have my bishop's bishop this way? Or back here, but that kind of just walks immediately into this. This gets in the way of the defense of this. Probably it's inconsequential what move I make here with the bishop, as long as I don't leave it there and die to the pawn. But I think all of these moves are probably about the same. Now he's got his bishop like this, so I kind of like the idea of just matching him. Cool. Smashes open in the center. Immediately I don't need to trade, so I think just putting a rook onto the semi-open file, and look at this configuration that I have right here. So we take, the knight takes. This is only defended by this rook, so probably I just need to make a move. We're playing 5+1, so we're only getting 1 second. Now the pawn is defended. We might step up so my bishop is defended, so if a rook trade ever occurs, I will be able to, like, have the bishop defended. Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. We're going to just stop that. Not really sure, but we're in a game of chess, and we're going into this endgame. We go here. He can't push, so we're just immediately applying pressure there. I think he could have just taken. No? So what if we scoot my rook over here to defend this pawn? Man, he's playing rapid fast. Don't... If I take here, if he takes with the knight, this is hanging. We're going to just go for it. If he takes with the knight, I can get this. But then he's got this fork, but my rook would be covering it. I think it all works out. We trade off equally. Now he's got this knight. We can grab this. No? If he hits us with the check, we can grab the knight, but he grabs our rook. Don't love it. Got 1 minute on the clock. It's an endgame. We're getting active. Couldn't just get smoked by that fork right there. We attack the knight. This rook became undefended real quick. And man, so out of the opening, he played a little bit, but I promise you, if we look at it with the analysis, I wasn't crushing. Like, I wasn't absolutely steamrolling him. You really need to play, what, 30 moves? Wait till we get into this endgame. I don't believe he has a great resource. Like, he can't step back in any way that defends this rook. So the best that he's got is to step back and give up the knight. Or sacrifice like this. But I can just take the knight. So what's better here? Is there anything fancy? We're going to just grab this. But now I've just got this extra piece. And resigns. Okay, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. What else was he going to do here? I think the way to play on was just give up the knight. I mean, you're going to be down a knight, but my bishop is not doing anything immediately. You have a lot of pawns close to my king. So if we look at it with the computer, just giving up the knight. It's not a fun thing to do, but very, very common thing we should look at. Look at the structure of these rooks right here. Very often you'll be in a situation where only the rooks are defending each other. So there will be all sorts of tactics where you can do crazy stuff, like just take a pawn or whatever, and the rook can't take because the other rook is undefended. So the rooks do a great job of defending each other, but I don't know how to explain this. This is so common. So common, where it's like these guys are defending each other, these guys are defending each other, and if you do anything else, so like take a step forward, you do anything else, and all of a sudden this rook becomes undefended, and when they're looking at each other, it just opens up the door for tactics, like a pawn push in the middle, attacking the pinned piece. You can't step back. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching my video. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back at it again with another educational and epic day of chess. We're going to do 10 plus 5, because you know what? I'm tired of losing on time and winning positions. That's the truth. So 5 seconds, I want to play a rated game because I need that elo because I'm going to reach 2,000 at some point. And oh boy. First, we're going to start with e4. Then we're going to check this dude's profile. He's terrible at bullet. He's terrible at blitz. He's okay at rapid. So, I hate this opening. I hate this opening. He takes back, and then I throw a pawn forward, applying pressure to the center immediately. And that is about where my opening knowledge stops. But you know what? We can still rock with the basic chess principles of pin the knight to the queen. You know what I mean? I guess we're just going to bring out another knight. It can never be a bad move. You want to first develop the knights before the bishop, but I know I developed this bishop to pin the knight a little bit earlier on. It's not the end of the world. And so hopefully what we can get is a little bring this guy out, castle this opposite side. Hopefully he castles king side, and then we are going to throw the h-pawn in his face. So my worry in the position is scooting back basically to any square is probably okay. This move is probably preferable, but what I'm worried about is this. So I really hope he doesn't try and do this little double pawn advancement, because if he does, he's probably going to try and castle this way. It's hard to say. Something else that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to spend more than like 1 minute, even in the critical moment, because I realize in some of my games I spend way too long. Like one time I spent one of the last games, I spent 4 minutes out of a 10-minute game. I spent 40% of my time literally. I guess I could have sacrificed there and that would have been interesting. Okay, so he still is going to go this way. I quite like that. I quite like that. I think we're going to go here so that my queen still sees this pawn, because he could potentially push forward and then remove my knight of the defense of this. So I want my queen to still see that pawn. And pretty much my game plan is move the queen, and castle the opposite direction, whichever side he chooses to castle. And what he has in his position right now is a horrible pawn structure, essentially on both sides. Like, his king is not going to be super safe over here, at least until he scoots it over. And the king is definitely not safe on this side. So I really, really, really want him to castle this way, because then the immediate h4 is just going to, like, we're going to push h5. Then I jump into the middle. So, like I said, I still want him to castle. So I am going to just probably scoot my queen up. I mean, he can jump into position and hit me, but I can just exterminate that fella right on the dot. What you always got to be a little bit careful of is the enemy's moves into your position. That's kind of what you need to calculate first. So I need to be aware of things like this, all of those moves. I need to be aware of this knight immediately coming here, and then I need to be aware of this queen coming here to attack. I know that that's still on his side of the board, but the queen is doing some stuff. So you generally want to look. That just can't be a good move. Just can't be a good move. Why? It's hard for me to say. He hasn't castled. Which side is he going to castle? Is he just not going to castle? That's also an option. So let's take stock of some of my moves. My queen is defending this pawn right now. If I castle this way, I mean, potentially that's a mistake. But if I castle this way, potentially also that's a mistake, because this is coming. So we're going to make a move exactly at 8:41 to keep the time. I can give this check. If he jumps in, I take, jump in, take, my bishop gets in. I like that. I can also just immediately jump in with my knight. But then he jumps forward and attacks my queen. I take, get him out of here. So it's hard to say which one's better. I feel like the knight is a little bit less committal. And what it does is it at least immediately applies pressure here. So which move is better? Even like a sacrifice is something I should do. We're going with the knight. We might see this, but something important is to just try and I probably spent more time than was necessary on that move, but I felt like it was probably an important move to spend a little bit of consideration on. Because just scooting my queen into the middle of the board, giving up the defense, again, that is a weird move. That is just a straight up weird move. But not horrible. I want a castle. Like, what should I do? Should I just castle, bring a rook here, do something like this, and if he takes, I get a discovery? What should I do? I kind of like the idea of pushing forward here as well, but he might just make me do that. Okay, we're not gonna lose my time advantage. We're gonna station my bishop squarely looking at his bishop. My knight is nice and defended. This knight can't immediately jump in. This pawn is definitely defended by two things, so I'm probably never going to win that pawn. He does capture. And I mean, we're going to take with the queen. It's about time you castle, bro. How about you just go ahead and castle? If you don't, bro, if you don't castle, I mean, like, that's no fun. Here. He blocks. I mean, if I take, it just kind of fixes his pawns. Not that his pawns are ruined or anything. But you know what? I am sick and tired of this nonsense. I'm castling. One of us is going to castle. And it's going to be me. I was really kind of just holding off because I wanted to opposite side castle. But you don't always get what you wish for. Was that the right side to castle to? I mean, he can scoot up and also match me. Something that I do that he might be thinking is I would be considered a higher rated opponent because we have a 100-point difference, 100 elo difference. And something that I try and do when I'm facing higher rated opponents is castle same side, because the attacking and calculation is generally going to favor them. Okay. We officially have opposite side castled. How do I make use of that? I want this H file open. If he just pushes forward, maybe I just try and break it open again. Let's do it without too much thinking. Immediately. Because he has A5, which might be a reasonable move. Taking might even not be all that bad for him. And we want to keep the queens on the board as well, because if you trade off the queens, you are trading off 9 points of golden attacking material. And so I don't want to trade the queens, basically, even if it's favorable for me, because I'm going to try and get some sort of attacking game going on. And I feel like I've been playing reasonably quickly, and we still have the same amount of time. Or not reasonably quickly. I feel like I've taken my time. I've played not quickly. So let's see. And I'm wearing a tank top. Please forgive me. I can bring my pawn. I mean, this attacks my queen. I like have to take back. I basically have to take back. If he jumps in, he's threatening this fork. So if I do take, he probably jumps in. So if I take, and then he jumps in, maybe I just scoot my rook over to defend that. I think we're going to do it. And still, if he comes here, we're covered. This is, I'm so okay with. Like, even just trying to open up the position. And then if we trade these bishops, then we're going to be in an opposite side castle game where his squares over here are going to be a little bit soft. So I kind of just want to push forward. And then if he pushes forward, I'm just going to take. And if he takes with this, I take here, allow this, slide over with check. Wait a minute, let's calculate this. Let's not lose on time. I think I'm pushing this pawn regardless. So if he takes, I think I'm cool with it. It just opens up the G file. And I'm basically, I might even try and sacrifice for this pawn. But it would be cool to get rid of these dark square bishops, because this dark square bishop is going to defend all of these dark squares by the king. And I don't have a light square bishop. Okay. We take. Immediate thought, we take. He takes back. We take here. He hits us with this fork. I hit him with a check. Is that a check? Because my bishop is still there. Take here. Take. He comes in. I go here. And he can't take it. He won't be able to take my rook, because if I scoot my bishop back, it's check. He'll scoot in the corner, and then it's checkmate. If you're able to follow all of that. And if he doesn't take this pawn, oh, he can take with the queen. See, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm just bad at chess. I almost said you're bad at chess. Sometimes I'm just simply bad at chess. This is hanging, but I think I want to just slide in here. And go ahead and take any of my pawns, bro. I think we play this. I feel like my king is decently safe. Look at all of the pieces on his king. And look at all the pieces on my king. My king is quite happy. Even if this pawn push comes. Is it the end of the world? This is being attacked twice. So he basically has to do something about that. And what would I suggest? I mean, he can jump back, but then I can take. He'll probably take with the queen. We might just launch this pawn because he can't really ever take it. Because then I just hit him with this little thing. Now we're just Ahmed 380. We have been taking the exact same amount of time. You are my bro. And we get 5 minutes. So when you get into these end games, they can get a little less hectic than 3+2, that's for sure. And I do play a lot of just 0+1 in my shorts. If you want to see a lot of like fast chess, like check out some of my shorts. None of them are very accurate, but they are definitely entertaining. What are you doing about this, bro? What would I do? What would Jesus do? What would Elon Musk do? Probably just bringing the queen back seems to make sense. Then I push. Then you take. Then I take. Then you take. Then I launch in again. Not sure. I'm not convinced that's the best. If not, I'm ready to just bring my rook. Ready to just bring my rook over here. And I almost don't care about your knight arriving here anymore, because I want to just like figure out a way to bring my knight. We've got a couple different courses of action. Okay, so he does step back. In between move, we attack the queen. If we see this, I feel like this is just a great move right here. If I take here, if he takes with the king, I mean, I don't have a check of great value. I kind of like stationing my rook here first, because this is still kind of an option. So here, let's do it. Here. Ooh, this. If I take, he can take this with check, and that's no fun for anybody. So here, here. Then I slide over here. I don't want to trade off too many pieces, and my knight doesn't have the easiest route to like participate in this game, but I think going here and him attacking, it's not going to work out beautifully for me. Pushing this pawn forward, I think we have to do this. We're going to check with the computer. I feel like maybe just forcing something like this would have been the correct idea, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, so he takes with the king. This pawn is still hanging. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea of just pushing it. Then this becomes an idea supported by the pawn. His king is a little bit fragile, and I really just want to push, push. We do this. Where's he even going to go? We go for this. The queen cannot infiltrate. I'm covering that square. He cannot take the pawn. He's not coming to my side of the board, that's for sure. So this seems to make a lot of sense. Then this becomes a little bit weak when I do double. We're going for it. Okay, so he goes for the queen trade. Absolutely, I do not want that to happen. I feel just like, doesn't that make a lot of sense? Doesn't that move just make a lot of sense? My knight is actually doing a pretty good job of defending some stuff. So we're sliding in, still defended. We have ideas of like tripling up and making some stuff happen. Also still pushing these pawns is an option. Attacking here, I don't know how terrified of it I am. But now I kind of should be a little bit worried. A little bit worried about like him just doubling. Then he's just got boom, boom, check, here, defend, and then all of a sudden it's like a completely even game where we're both attacking. But his queen now officially can't leave the guard of this pawn. So ideas like this make some sense. Ooh, that also does kind of pin the queen. Something else in this position. Sometimes you just stare at a position long enough. Okay, so he takes that idea away. I think this will just be completely defended by this. I think I can push. And if you take, I mean, I just take here. So we can't really take. Something like this might make sense. Maintain defense of this pawn. But once I open this up, once I open that up, you are in a world of trouble because your king is a little bit naked. Okay. I mean, we take. Then his rook gets involved. Ooh, we take, the rook gets involved. we pin the queen. So also this is removing the defender of pinning the queen. So if I take this, if he takes with the queen, I give in a little cheeky check first. Or there's this. So I think just taking makes sense. He takes with the queen. Yes. But I have this check first, where your options would be here or here, both of which will be followed by this check. Then your options would be defend with the queen and I take the queen, or scoot over here. What did I just calculate? Okay, I think we just take here. Oh! It's defended by the queen. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Mistakes have been made. This is the next move. I can maybe... Oof. Grr. I hate chess so much. Why did I do that? My calculations are terrible. I go over here. This is the next idea. Pin the queen. Now I'm just down a rook. And there is no saving me. No saving me. I mean, even if he hangs this, then it's an equal game. And he's going to win that pawn. So even if I get this move. Check, check, boom. Check. We attack the queen. He just defends. And then we'll be attacking this. Oh, I threw it away. I threw it. Big blunder. And now, I mean, the king is naked. This rook is not activated yet. He could basically just scoot forward, and then all of a sudden I'm checkmated just like in 10 moves. Oof. But in this position, we take a deep breath. I realize maybe I'm a little bit bright. Let's cover this light. How's that? Is that better on the viewer's eyeballs? Not a fucking... Oops, I swore. Not a white guy's face. Super incredibly white. And I'm not even winning on time. We need to pray that his bullet skills are not that great. That is what we are going for here. That's all that. That's the only saving grace that we have. That's a fancy move. If I attack here, you go here with check. I step back. You have no checks. But can he still castle, bro? No, the king definitely made a lot of moves. What am I talking about? This, my knight has no forward momentum at all. What about this? In between move. Now my rook is not under attack. Your rook is still under attack. And that seems to make a lot of sense. But then I hit you with a check. And I essentially trade my knight. I mean, we got to do it, right? We absolutely got to do it. There's no other move. This is a nice fork if he doesn't see it, but we get this. We get in with another check, and he was trying to be a little overtly fancy, but he has to take. Then I take. What are his options? If he scoots this way, I can sort of pin a little bit. Something like this. I do have these back rank ideas lurking in the position. So he comes in with check. I mean, yes, he is just going to win this. I can step back. Bro is blundering it away. I can step back with check. Defend the knight with my queen. My king is defending my knight. Dude, why is he trying to get so fancy out here? We slide in with check. 59 seconds. Am I winning if I trade? I think it's completely even. Let's just give this check. Okay. We want my knight here. Potentially this makes sense. I maybe should have just traded the queens. Now things are going to get a little bit complicated. But again, we're really rooting on the fact that maybe he's not that great at bullet. We push this and just greatly weaken my king. Something like this would make a lot of sense. And then just get in. I think we're going to just defend like that. He could just push. Hard to say who that really benefits. If he pushes, if I take here, he pushes here, I take here. His rook gets involved. I could just step forward. He hits me with this check. Things are going to get complicated. Make no mistake about it. Please don't let me blunder. This is going to make an exceptional video. So he wants to trade the rooks. We're going to do it for the sake of just simplifying the position a tad little bit. I think we just take one step closer. I'm not sure what to do. Completely even. One of us is going to blunder. And I've got 27 seconds, so it very well could be me. This check, I mean, I just stepped forward. For some reason, I thought the check was on this square and my knight was defending it, but it's absolutely not. We want my knight in one of these squares. So he gives me the check. I mean, like straight up, I have to scoot forward. He can't give me this check. He could go ahead and pin me. I mean, his knight can't get forward either. Would love to give this check. If his knight moves, I give that check in a heartbeat. And we just like rattle off some checks real quick would be the idea. This whole diagonal. Okay, so he wants to scoot around. I think I'm just going to make a move. Okay. Reasonable. Just move to a defended square. We're going to just try and keep this game going. Okay. Now he wants to go here. Makes a lot of sense. Step forward again. He can't really do it. He goes for it. I'm going to take. If he takes with the queen, I think I win the endgame. If he takes with the pawn, then I have to do operation take the pawn with my he has this, but I can take it. He can still easily draw this. Not easily, but he definitely still can. Because this pawn is incredibly weak. My king, to win this pawn, will be in the center of the board. He can do something like this. Here, here, here. I think this kind of like asks for this trade. And then I'm in a pawn and king and pawn endgame, but I'm up a pawn. He can also slide in the middle with this check. But then I have a passed pawn. Take here. We do this. Now I have a passed pawn. He's probably got a fair bit of checks that he can get. I think we're going to step over. We step back. We can push the pawn now. And look how much time we have accumulated. step back. The pawn is defended. Checks are somewhat defended. Queen trade. He hangs the queen. Tragic with check. That was a serious game of chess. Essentially what we did there was we played on the opponent's weakness, and I didn't despair. When I made that fatal blunder against another player, I would easily lose, but I was 100 rating points higher, so I knew if I just kept the game going on and we just kept doing things, if I make a blunder, he's bound to make a blunder. Although that game was completely lost. Absolutely, I had like a -8 or 9 position. And then he just tried to get fancy 2 different times. Don't get fancy. When you're winning, you don't have to get fancy. You have to get fancy when you're losing. So I think my accuracy for that game was probably like pretty low. So probably like 83%. We're going to check it with the computer, and I will see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I don't necessarily know what to think of that game. I mean, I came out the victor, but he definitely could have pressed harder. And so I can tell you the way that I was able to win that game was I made a blunder from a winning position. So instead of going from like a equal 0-0 position to like -6, I went from a +3.5 to a -3. And if it's -3, there's still some hope. There's still some hope. And so the reason for that was his king was pretty naked, and my pieces were on good squares, and my king was generally safer than his. And so, I mean, he still should have definitely punished me. And I had 1 inaccuracy that literally didn't matter, 1 mistake that also didn't matter, and then I had 3 blunders that very much did matter. And so one of them, if we scoot a little further down and take a gander at this chart, we can obviously see what happened here when I hung my rook with check for literally no reason. Don't know how I didn't see that, but it is what it is. Chess is hard. And so that was one of my blunders. Another one of them was a crazy computer line that neither of us were really going to see. And our opponent here, 79% accurate, 3 blunders, 3 mistakes, 6 inaccuracies. I'm so sorry to our opponent for him losing that game, but let's go ahead and fly through this. And so I mentioned that in this position you're supposed to take, they take, and then you bring the knight. That's not actually what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just bring the knight. And then if they take, you take back with the knight. Okay, I didn't know that. I've just played this so many times, and it's worked out generally okay. Like this game, it worked out generally okay, but it gives you an absolutely equal position after like 4 moves, and so that is not what you want in chess. You wanna maintain, your little advantage you start with as white, and so we go ahead, we get the pieces developed. This sacrifice, I checked it with the computer, it does not work. So all of these moves, everything's good. Everything's good. Best move, putting the knight in the middle. This little trade, taking with the queen, was correct. Castling opposite was a minor inaccuracy, but I did it for the sake of the video. And we got an attacking game where our opponent, he definitely got the pressure put on him, and then I blundered it away. But we have an opposite side castling game. I immediately push this pawn. He takes here, and this was his blunder and my blunder. The reason for this, if I take with the bishop, this fork becomes an idea. So immediately, something like this can happen, where I need to like scoot back and defend this. It's just not super great. So what happened in the game? But if I take with the pawn, if he comes here, we just trade and I'm up a pawn. Cool. If he goes over here, we can simply just take this, and his knight is kind of not in a good square. He can't really like get back into the game easily other than taking my bishop. And then if he goes here, we can also still just take, because this fork does not exist because my bishop is defending my f2 pawn. And so that is what we both missed. And so I can go into further lines, but there was even like a capture, a queen sacrifice, and then bringing in the rook all the way down here to get the checkmate. Neither of us saw that. It was a crazy computer line. So we keep going. He takes with the queen. I didn't see that coming. And then here's where my advantage starts. I'm supposed to just kind of not care about this pawn because I can push my rook. If he does take, then this fork would exist. I guess it's still called a fork when it's like this. So that would have existed. So I could have tactically defended this pawn and prepped for the attack. And this would still threaten this same exact thing over here. Don't see it, so I push the pawn. We defend the pawn simply. We go ahead and we push forward. He scoots back. I scoot over. He pushes the pawn. I push this forward. And this is where I just completely blundered everything away. What I was looking for in this position was a checkmate. Yes, this would have worked, and what I calculated did generally make sense. However, it's defended by the queen. So what I did didn't make any sense, and I was really looking for a checkmate in this position, but it doesn't really exist because he can bring the knight back and defend this file, and then his king slips out this way, no matter what I go for. So we go ahead and we blunder the rook. It's awesome. And so if you see, I went from a plus 3.5 to a minus 3.5. So it's not the end of the world. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We give some checks. We're trying to set up some tricky traps. We're going for something like this. His knight can still block, but it's better than nothing. He scoots over. We attack the queen, and he makes a blunder. He's still winning, but he does make a blunder because I get to give this check. He has to do something, or else I'm just going to take you. And so now he's down the exchange. Immediately after this blunder, he makes another blunder where the best move is to just step over. What happens then? He takes, and I ignore it, but I'm still going to win because I'm going to... Oh, I can get in and win the rook at some point? I think that's what the idea was. I'm supposed to just let him grab it, whatever. I could have gone for a crazy attack. But you know what? How is this a blunder? This counts as a blunder. Defending my knight with check. So I guess he just goes to an equal position. I was supposed to just scoot over. He takes the knight. I attack the queen. Say the queen goes back. We just get in. We just get in with a lot of checks. And I win the rook. So I was supposed to see that. I did see this general idea, but not in this position. I saw that this rook is over here undefended, so a back rank check would basically win the rook. I saw it at some point, but I didn't go for it. Can you really blame me, though? Making a move like this, I mean, it just looks natural. I had 1 minute on the clock. But now we have a completely even position. We go for this check. Correctly, I keep the queens on the board because it's completely even now, but I'm playing on my opponent's weakness. And so I'm really going for continuing the game, just making the game continue at an equal position and hoping for him to blunder. So we solidify our center, we push this pawn, we have exactly a mirroring pawn structure over here. We take, we get the rooks off, he gives a check, we scoot forward, and we're kind of straying away, but everything we do is still a draw. And so I'm literally just making moves because I had 15 seconds. So sometimes you just got to make a couple moves that keep the position like more or less similar. It doesn't change things too much. So here, he gets a passed pawn, but it's alone. And so I'm going to bring my king, and I'm going to take it. And so we take, he takes, I take, and get a passed pawn. The reason that it's still a draw here is just say this position here. Instead of even trying to defend this, he can just better situate his queen to start attacking me. So like going here, and when I take, whatever I take with, you just start giving checks. So what a lot of people do in an endgame like this is I take, and then you take my queen and I take back. You literally don't have to do that. You just accept the pawn is gone, and you keep the queen or the rook on the board. And so I couldn't tell you how many games I win because it's this situation, and I take, and they take back. And it's like, bro, for what? For why? Why did you do that? It was a bad move. So either way, we move forward. Now I have a passed pawn. It's still a draw because with perfect play, he can check me into oblivion. And so, and I will need to maintain defense of this pawn. And I know that it's probably still a draw in this position, but if we just keep the game going on, he's got 14 seconds. I've got 13 seconds. It's only right here. It's only zeros with perfect play, and there's no way that either of us are playing perfect with 15 seconds on the clock. We scoot around a little bit, and here we go. Not too much further away. He gets a blunder. He makes a blunder, and you got to be careful. The queens can do a lot of checks from a lot of things, so they're hard to see all of the possible moves and variations. The queens are so difficult, but essentially, you don't want to allow a queen trade like this. I mean, I saw it in a matter of 4 seconds, and even if the best move he takes, I was going to take with my king, with pretty much the simple idea of, I mean, if he pushes, I can just take, and then I have 2 passed pawns, and I win every time. If what I thought he would do is step away, I step in, and then he's basically stuck with opposition here, where I can stay touching the pawn. He goes for this one. He's going to win a pawn, but I'm going to win both of these ones, and I'm just going to win this endgame. And so, not the cleanest, not the most... this straightforward win, but we did get the win. He was rated 100 points lower than us, so can't really blame our opponent there. I think that was enough of your time. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in this video. If you learned anything or you simply enjoy watching me play these games, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at like 460 now, and so you guys are literally the best. Thank you so much. Leave a comment if I missed some stuff. I'm sure I did. Thank you so much. I love you. Get out of here. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is playing a 3+2 against this 1767 opponent. And what we're going to not do is lose my light square bishop. So we're going to scoot forward. Please don't go for me. He might just do that. Okay, we're going to capture. Step back. I want to preserve my bishop pair. And what we're going to do is the opening, like how many moves are we into the opening? And I already don't know what's going on. Boom. How many times have I seen this position? I don't know. Not that many. We could check after the game. But it's actually ridiculous how much people study openings. And it's like, you know, I feel like the amount of openings you would have to study to memorize and stuff. Like, understand the general ideas. We're tickling this because the pin is scary and my bishop's outside of the pawn chain. And I don't have another knight to break the pin. So we're just going to chase this guy around the board. We're chasing him around the board. Okay, so we're going to go... No, we're not. That's gonna hang my knight in one move. So we're not going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm scared. So, I mean, I could go for, like, this. Did my mouse just disconnect? Well, gosh darn it, I'm going to need this mouse to play. You guys see this nonsense, bro? We're playing a Blitz game, and I'm getting 15-second. Okay, so what can I do? I can jump in, and then he takes, and then I take. I don't know if that's actually good for anybody. We're stepping forward. He can still kind of go for this light square bishop. And I really like having a bishop pair. So there's this, pin my queen. But let's just do it. Unafraid. We'll castle this way. We castle. Go ahead and attack my queen. I step over and attack your pawn. It's like we're playing a game of ping pong. You pass it to me, I pass it right back. Now I'm attacking your pawn. This bishop is doing a tremendous job defending the position over here. This is a safe and happy king. That is just about as safe and happy as a king gets. My king, in between jobs king, is what he's looking like. So I can grab that, correct? There's this fork, so he just defended that tactically. So instead of getting complicated, we're just going to trade that. Then we're going to step over. This is defended. We got a lot of action going on with these queens right now. Make no mistake about it. And this guy's kind of pinned. Okay. I can step forward and go for this. Now he's probably going to be a little inclined. I don't think there's anything fancy here. Bro, you better calm down. I can push this. No, I can't. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Oh, Jiminy Cricket. I think we got to go for this. But then he pushes here, but then I'm going to push again. Okay? I have too many games of chess I've lost by trading. So we're going to step back. I like maintaining this beautiful diagonal over here. Okay. Here, 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 here. Let's go for it. 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. How am I down an entire minute? Don't ask me. I could also try to do this, but I think trading off everything is going to be in my best interest because I'm losing on time. Yes, that is what I think. I can also go for the same idea over here. But it's completely equal. Completely equal position. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's probably thinking to himself, man, I have double the time that this guy has. I'm absolutely smoking him on the clock. Okay. 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 I think we're going to be chilling, bro. We are going to be chilling. Go ahead and try. You could step back. So one thing you want to do in a situation like this, where we're going to threaten checkmate. Checkmate in 2. Will he see it? The answer is most definitely yes. And he will step over with the king, or he will push this forward. It's hard to say which one he's going to do. He could even play this. Did he just blunder mate in 2? Queen sacrifice, mate in 2. Let me just look at this for a second. Do you think he noticed? I'm still flabbergasted. I'm unsure that this is actually going to win. Is there like some crazy way he's going to get out of this? You got me just absolutely shook. How many times do I get to sacrifice the queen for checkmate? I know this is the most common queen sacrifice out of every single queen sacrifice that there ever was, but you don't get to do it very often. So, very proud of myself for that one. We got it. 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the board. We'll call that a video. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends about me. Kip's the best chess YouTuber you've ever seen in your life. He's so good at 1900 level chess. So, and he picks on 1768s late at night when they're tired. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys in another one, or I'll never see you again. It is what it is. Thank you so much for being here and having this moment with me and hanging out with me tonight. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day. I hope you get a beautiful girlfriend. I hope you hope that for me as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back at it again with another epic and educational day of chess. Today we are facing the Ready, I believe that is called, against King 27. And it looks like he is a little bit lower rated in all categories. And so one thing that is back by popular demand is what chess opening to play and how to play chess openings. So when you play the black pieces, bro, I play C6 every single time. If I'm rated like 19, 2000, 1700, whatever you want to call it, you know, you can play it too. And it's a pretty simple structure. What we're trying to do here is, I mean, if this happens, we're cool with it. If they push forward, then we're still going to just do the same exact structure. But what we're going for, strange move by our opponent, we're going to develop this knight first. He's made a lot of pawn moves, so it'd probably be smart for him to, at some point, move some pieces instead of pawns. But, so he's locked it down. We're going to get a little bit of a sandwiched position, but we're going to develop the knight so that his knight can't jump in here. And this indestructible pawn structure is so much fun to play. So I think we can just push, correct? And if he takes, we take. Am I calculating something just horrendous? I mean, he can play this, but then we just take and we're chilling. And we got the open file. So this move probably makes sense. We're going to just take back. The rook, he has to take. So we're going to take back over here. If he takes like this, we come over here. If the knight comes in, we pin this guy with the idea of this maybe, or something like that. And so we're doing a casual game, for one, because I feel like in rated games, people cheat a lot. Maybe I'm the only one, but I want to show you something else. Check out this mouse pad. That's right. Chess mouse pad. Where's the mouse? I need that to make my moves. Okay, so we're going to just take. We're going to just take. My bishop is locked in jail, which is no fun. We don't really want this guy being able to jump forward, so I think we should maybe invest. Well, I mean, we're going to need a castle, so that's probably more important than pinning his knight, which isn't even pinned yet, because this pawn hasn't moved, so that's what I was talking about. I was going to do this pin. This pawn hasn't even moved yet, so we need to be worried. We need to be slightly worried about this pawn. We need to be a little bit aware of we do have this check, but we're ready to castle. We are ready to castle. So he does want to play this. I think we can just take and we're chilling. But first we're going to just tickle this guy. We're going to give him a little tickle. If he takes, then it's probably just a bad move for him. If he steps back, what we're worried about is castling. Then the knight comes in, and then this guy all of a sudden becomes real undefended. So should we just get crazy? What if I slide all the way over with my queen? No, because then he can get the open file. Don't love that. What if I jump forward and he takes and I step up with my king? So like this, 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 this. I actually quite like that. We jump forward. He's essentially, this is hanging. So he's probably going to, if he takes this, I can take this first, attacking the queen. Then he attacks this. And then I win this. So I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. I might not get to castle, but in this structure, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just not convinced how important that actually is. Like, these guys see each other. These guys see each other. So if he takes here, I think I grab this first. He's got to do something with the queen. I could even desperado. But then he would get his bishop to this square, so we're just not going to do that. So if he takes, and we take, and he takes, I step forward, and we're chilling. So we're going to go like this. Now, this would be a very reasonable move. I also have this check. He could step forward with the queen. Then I just take. Probably step back like this. Let's not be fancy. We don't got to be fancy here. So we're going to give this check. You can block with the queen, but then I can give another check and then maybe wiggle closer somehow. And if the queen leaves here, I could take the knight. Okay, so the knight's here. I think that's the cue to bring the rook to the open file. He is still not castled yet, and so I intend to make use of that. So I think bringing the rook to the open file makes a huge amount of sense. If we can get it to the 7th rank, that also makes just a giant amount of sense. And he's got to do something with his bishop, so he's probably got to play like here. But in that time, I might push on this. Very reasonable move. We got to do something. Check. Take with the queen. I come in with this check. He can step up, and then it just doesn't work. Noticing this is a little bit important. So I think we're just going to slide all the way back with the bishop. Was there a tactic there? And we kind of just want this guy to move, because this is just a super powerful move. So even playing my queen up to here, or like playing like this, like if I can just station my most powerful pieces along this rank, that would be awesome. Would love that. And breaking in the center probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense for our opponent. And unfortunately, our knight is like not even in the game. So we definitely need the knight to be doing something, instead of just hanging out with the king. Oh, and I hurt my back at the gym. I've been going to the gym literally every single day, because why not? And I did 315 on the squat. I really did, I promise. I took a video of me failing. I'll get a video of me doing it. But my back is sore, dude. Hear my elbow pop. I think he'd be okay with just develop castle. Would he? Develop, I think that I come in at that point. And if he castles, then this knight is just drastically weak. And if this knight decides to go anywhere, essentially, this becomes an idea. So he could jump here. But right now he's pinned. So actually, I feel like his position is really difficult to play. I don't even know what's the correct move. Believe it or not, like a move like this might make sense. Getting out of the pin, getting out of threats like this. Just like... What we don't need to take is the first thing. Like take. I mean, I guess we can win a pawn doing that. We take, and if he takes back, I just take. It's not the most beautiful thing, but I can win this pawn. I just win this pawn. Then what does he want to do? He's got no check with his queen. He can't take. It's pinned to the king. Then I could come back here and have some pressure here, but I really liked this infiltration idea. This knight is pinned like more than one way. Not only is he pinned to the king, he's also pinned, like say he could move, then this move arrives. So he needs to stay guarding this square. That's what I'm saying. That move makes a huge amount of sense. I really think that move was smart. Now I'm thinking about pinning the knight like this. Just two things attacking this. If he steps over like so, we just come on in. If he steps over, we come back with the idea of this. This is a powerful move. You step forward with... There might even be a checkmate here. I can lock it down like this. What if I give this check? You take. I take attacking the queen. Boom, boom. Check. Does that make any sense? Here. You take. I hit you with a check with the knight. At the very least, I grab this. So that's a risky type move to play. But I might be able to grab this pawn in one of the lines. check here, take, also threatening this. I really hope I'm not calculating something horrendous. I can also bring my knight. So when he takes this, I jump forward with the knight. Ah, no, I don't, because he defends this. So we have to play this first. We're attacking the queen, and we're attacking this. He still has no check on us, so I think we're chilling. And now we're just up a pawn, but we're really threatening this, is the separation tactic. The queen is doing a job of defending the king. And look at where the king is at. Look at the state of this king. He's in the middle of the board. And so you better believe it. And this rook hasn't even got to participate. Ah, oh, I almost feel bad for him. He just fell apart. I mean, I've still got to win, but I don't want him to. He could resign. Like, what is he supposed to do? Okay, that threatens this. I think we just give a check. Was I supposed to do it with the pawn? Not sure. If he comes over here, then we get the dude to the center of the board. And he doesn't even have a lot of moves. Like, he could play this. But then I'm going to hit you with this check. Yikes. And that's mate. So if he runs forward, I think I just kill him. If he steps to the side, I hit him with yet another check. But then he runs over here. But I could hit him with another check. I can also do this. I can also win the queen like this. So that's really it. He has these guys on the same square. Was that available? I think. And that's a wrap. We just play the game-winning move. Unfortunate. You had the king and the queen on the same file, and he succumbed to the tactics. And yeah, he resigns, because what else was he supposed to do? I think that was a fairly straightforward game. I think he just made a couple too many pawn moves and fell behind in development. I mean, look, this rook never even got to play. This bishop never even got to move. And he also didn't get to castle. So a lot of things went wrong, and they can all be attributed to a lot of these pawn pushes in the center. A lot of pawn moves, bro. A lot of pawn moves. Do you see how many pawn moves he made? And then if you look at the position now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces developed. And he's got a weak pawn structure. My pawn structure is actually fairly chilling. Not really. I guess this is weak. But let's go check with the computer. It's a little bit of a shorter video, but I mean they do a 1720, so I don't want to be picking on lower rated opponents like this. But he played quite well. But at some point there is no more playing well because there's no good moves to play. So like in the end, he was going to lose no matter what happened after a couple of those sequences. So let's check it with the computer, see how accurate it actually was, and I will see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I almost feel bad for our opponent because he was in a losing position where there were no good moves to play for like a long time, and those positions suck to play and they're no fun, and you're like trying to figure out what move to play, and no matter what you play, you're still losing, and those are the worst positions. It's definitely worse in like a real rapid game that's like 10 minutes plus 5 seconds or something, and you're just like spending 6 minutes of your life losing. Sucks. That's why bullet is fun. And so if we look at this graph, we see just a clean tail, and look how long the end game lasted. Normally it's like middle game is here and the end game is this entire portion, but it's like the opening over with, the middle game over with, the end game non-existent. And so it was quite a short game. I don't even know how many moves. I guess we'll find out. But if we look at this, I played 90% accurate, and basically everything that I played was great. Out of the opening, I made a tiny inaccuracy that I actually know about, and for whatever reason just forgot and played the wrong move. Then I made a mistake in the end game, but it went from like you're gonna win to you're gonna win in 3 more moves than what you just had. And then our opponent, 2 blunders, 2 mistakes, 3 inaccuracies, and he had a hard to play position. So let's just hop right into it. We play c6 and we just throw our pawns into the center. We're basically playing the Caro-Kann structure, okay? Now, after c4, the reason you don't bring the bishop out is because this capture, you have to capture back, and the queen arrives here to b3, okay? Applying pressure to this and this. What you're supposed to do is just bring the knight, let him grab this, and you just have a slightly worse position, but it's worse than that because you even can get hit with pawn pushes like this that open up this diagonal. This knight hasn't developed yet. This knight is ready to jump in and attack anything that you put on these squares to break that pin. And it becomes, I've lost many games. I have lost many games because of that simple pawn capture, and I developed the bishop. So what you're supposed to do is when you see c4, you bring the knight first, because then it's all the world of difference. All the world of difference. If they capture, you can capture with the pawn, but you're safe from this for reasons I'm not going to fully be able to explain. You're fine. Bring the knight first, or else it gets hairy. So I don't do that, and I play in inaccuracy, but it's not too bad. You know what I mean? I think we would have survived. And he is just making pawn moves on the side of the board. It is not what you want to do. He has developed a piece. We make a pawn move, but I think it was essential. He makes another pawn move. We develop a piece. He makes another pawn move. We make another pawn move. And trading this off essentially just developed my queen. So if we clarify what's going on here. So we just capture, then we develop the bishop. He then goes for this. But if we just go back to this position and we take a look, we see I have a developed bishop, develop, develop, develop. My queen is essentially developed. I'm ready to castle. Now look at our opponent's position. Not developed, not developed, not developed, not developed, not ready to castle. Yikes. That is not what you want to see. So it says minus 0.3, but he has been making not the smartest and wisest decisions out of the opening. So technically, I'm supposed to just castle and be brave, but the reason I was worried about that is I didn't want the knight to come in and then I have to take, and then if this happens, if I move the knight, this is kind of hanging once I castle because nothing is defending this bishop. So I took out the bishop first. Don't hate it. But the reason that's not great is the bishop can just go back here and break this. This is the weak diagonal. So when he plays this, it's a huge blunder because this this knight is on the weak diagonal, and now your bishop can no longer go to this square to break the pin. So I didn't see how powerful just coming forward and pinning that pinned piece was, because essentially I could just do that. You got to do something to defend it. If you defend it with the queen, you're just getting hit with check immediately. If you defend like this, I'm still just coming forward, and there's no way to defend this. So if you move this knight, I can, for one, just take, and then these are hanging. If you move the bishop, I just take this. I could even take with the queen and force this. There was just no way to defend this knight. And so the reason that I missed that is because normally you're attacking pinned pieces with ferocity with the bishops. You're not doing it so much with the queens. Like, this idea is pretty easy to find with any piece, I guess, but normally you're doing it with the bishop, so I wasn't looking at like pin and attacking the pinned piece coming from a queen. Okay, I missed it. Don't hate it. We jump forward, and essentially what this is doing is trading off his developed pieces. Now I still have developed pieces. If you see, my queen's developed, and he's got one developed piece. So I'm still winning on development because we traded off 2 of my developed pieces for 2 of his developed pieces, but I still got more developed pieces. Okay? Not to mention, that developed my rook as well. So like, I didn't castle, but it did the same purpose. All that matters is the rook being able to get to this open file. So he goes ahead and pushes. I step forward with this check. Now, the reason it's not so great is he can kind of just like get in the way with his queen. And if I give this check, he can get in the way with the queen. And if I give this check, he can get in the way with the queen. And he can just like trade the queens at some point where I'm going to have to take, and he steps back, and then he's attacking my bishop, and I would have to step back. And it's actually more or less an equal-ish position, because if he's capable of trading off the queens, he's not going to get checkmated anymore. And so I know that blocking with the knight was the worst decision, because now my rook is coming. Then, for whatever reason, I assumed because this was being attacked that this move would not work. I guess it's a complicated move. You know, this is under threat. This is here. The knight is pinned, and then there's some things you need to calculate. Like, what if I play this and he just takes, and I take? I don't know. Whatever. I didn't see it. You know what? So I step back. But you know what? We still got the option there. We step back, and he tries to get rid of it, but it doesn't even make any sense because I can just take that pawn because the knight is still pinned. So it's just no good. And so at this point, he realizes, oh no, this is a threat. He realized it more than I even did, because I still was worried about the knight somehow doing it. So he's stepping out of this to avoid this pin and to avoid the rook coming in and pinning the queen to the king. A lot of pins going on in this position. See what happens when you don't develop your pieces in castle? You just get, everything just gets pinned. So now my rook is on the 7th rank, and so is your king. So it's just a bad, bad position for our opponent. The king steps forward, and it seems like an equal trade. It seems like what's going on. I guess what was he supposed to do? Block like this and just let the bishop, let the bishop die? You're supposed to just allow this? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What if you step back like this, then I'm coming in with ideas like this, and if you block, then I'm going to attack you like this. oof, it gets rough. So that's what I'm saying. In positions like this, it's hard to find a move because there are no moves. Everything sucks. It's -7, so you're completely cooked. And that's crazy. -7, but we have the same material essentially. Like, I guess I'm up a pawn, but -9 for the position of the king. His king is the most advanced piece. And so this looks like when my queen arrives here, it looks like, okay, this is an equal trade, but it's just not, because your king is going into the middle of the board, and then when I take your knight, I'm attacking everything. So it looks like, okay, if you grab my knight, I grab your bishop. That's what it looks like, but that's not really the case. Yes, that happens, but then your king is literally on e4 in the middle of the board. You're supposed to put pawns on e4, not kings. Not in this type of position. This is a middle game position, and it happens. And so we go ahead and just take here first, and then if you look at the position, it's suggesting push pawns on the side of the board, throw away a piece essentially, to just, there's nothing that you can do. So he develops the queen, and unfortunately, this is coming. So the idea here is make the king move away from touching this pawn. And there's a couple different ways you can do that. I mean, he can't even move here. He can't even move here. So all you got to do is touch the king. So I play this. And like I said, if he plays this, he's just getting checkmated. Okay? If he plays this, then that is what happened. Then I just take the pawn. Then you're just losing the queen. This is going to happen. The king steps back. There's a lot of different things I can do. He comes here. Oh boy. I hit you with another check. You run in the corner, you're getting checkmated like this. If you run this way, probably I would start pushing some pawns. I'd probably push this pawn and try and like wiggle the king out somehow and checkmate him. I feel terrible for our opponent. If you enjoyed watching that video, I hope that it was long enough. The game was like 10 minutes, and analysis was like 10 minutes. So what can be learned from this? The main two things. Okay, if you're playing the c6 opening, if you're playing the c6 opening and you see c4, develop the knight first, then bring the bishop. It's complicated. Why? That is better, but you play that. Okay, let's just look into it. If they capture, if the queen comes out, then you develop. Oh, it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. This is not hanging. That is why. That is the entire difference. If you develop the bishop, then this gets attacked with queen b3. It attacks this pawn with tempo. That's the simple explanation. So if you play the bishop when he captures, when the queen comes out, this is immediately threatened. Immediately this is threatened. And if you come up, then you're just getting hit. And you come over here, then it's getting spicy. So that is why. That is why. You see c4, do this. Then in the beginning, don't push a pawn on the side of the board. Develop a piece, okay? And then not only that, the pawns are what are like make the structure of the game. And so after he has pushed these pawns, this square and this square, these two squares became incredibly weak. And I mean, if we look forward, that was important. Those weak squares, because all those pawn pushes. Look at these squares. Look at these squares that got weak because of all of this. And so there we go. One other thing, tactics. Just play the most powerful forcing move first. Just because you attack my bishop doesn't mean I have to move it. I can attack your queen. And so it was complicated because it looks, there's the pin going on. I wasn't sure. You know what I mean? I had 4 minutes. I have no excuse why I missed that. So either way, if you learned anything or you simply enjoyed watching my chess videos, thank you for watching them. Please subscribe if you haven't, or don't. It's okay. Some people just watch and don't subscribe. But, leave a comment and let me know, or else I'll never know you were here. So thank you guys so much for watching. That was the best. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Get out of here. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back, my fellow chess enthusiast. In today's episode, I have a special treat for you. I will be destroying this 2100 because what I do is I play a bunch of games of chess and I win some and I lose a lot and I post the best ones just for your viewing eyes. Now, hear me out. I've been playing the Caro-Kann type structure a lot. So this isn't the Caro-Kann, this is different or whatever. Is this the Queen's Gambit? I don't know the names of the openings, to be honest with you, but I know this move c4, and I'm going to explain something to you right now and waste some of my time so you can be better at chess openings. If you develop this bishop, there is capture, boom, queen to whatever it is, b3, applying pressure here, and you have a -1 position. So what you need to do is develop this knight, and now we have a completely equal position. Actually, it's like -0.2 or something. So he pins me, which is very unfortunate because to avoid having my pawn structure ruined, there are really two options. Move the knight, which we are not going to do because there is this. There is completely ignore it. You know what? Let's be bold. Bro, will you really give up the bishop for the knight for a ruined pawn structure? I don't think you will. So this is a little cat and mouse. Like, he can do it. And I don't really want him to, because I think it's okay for him. But he knows the bishop is going to be important later. And so, ruining my pawn structure, is it really all that important? Hard to say. He did it. We're going to capture towards the center, being practical. Oh my goodness, now that the bishop is developed, does this stupid tactic work? I think, do I develop the queen? And if he captures, I take back like this. Then if he gives the check, I bring the knight here, or the bishop back. Because here, and then there's 2 attackers on this pawn, and there's 1 attacker on this pawn, and I can't fix all of it at once. So I'm fairly certain that just ignoring it and bringing the queen is actually what I'm supposed to do. We are in deep water out of this chess opening, and it seems that my opponent has got the best of me. He is rated 2100. So, deep breath. Deep breath. Okay, so he wants to trade the queens. You know what? I don't know what. Do I develop this knight and just allow a ruined pawn structure? Does he just win that endgame? I don't really like take and opening up his rook. I can develop this way? Oh man, I'm in a little bit of a conundrum. Do I just develop this pawn here? And if he captures, I take back. You know what? We have to do something. So I'll let him just completely obliterate my pawn structure and go into an absolutely horrible type endgame. So this doesn't work. Is he just going to win this pawn? Oh, we have to trade the queens first. I'm going to push the pawn forward. Did that accomplish anything? I couldn't take. It's defended by the knight. So he pushes forward and I step back. Then he attacks me again and I step back. But he has successfully put every single... We're going to put a pawn on a dark square. Because we are not getting my bishop trapped. Not today. We are staying alive with the bishop. He doesn't actually really want to castle. But we're going to go for this pin. Where if we're able to accomplish it, he could take and then pin me. Oh boy, this is a complicated position. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a little bit beyond me. I'm used to like little simple games of chess. And he's up a pawn. So I'm down a pawn. Straight up. Just down a pawn. Ruined pawn structure. But I'm not going to lose hope. Because you know what? Man, he is really just playing some tremendously delicious moves. We push forward. I don't see any other move. We push forward. We get this, sort of fix the pawn structure. My pawns really, really suck. I've been talking about pawns too much. This is defended somewhat. Neither of us have castled. This just invites his knight into my position, so we don't really love that. And I can't even really jump forward because then he just captures and ruins my pawn structure even more, and then I have all of these pawn weaknesses that he will just mop up because he is a good chess player. But if he doesn't take, then I'm pretty much just going to take. He could castle and defend that. Actually, that would be a great move. And I can't do this because once... Yeah, just develop some pieces. I think pinning the knight is fairly reasonable in this position. Also, developing my bishop just over here. I don't know what else to play, so we're going to just do that. Castle this way? Oh boy. What have I got myself into? Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Like, the position feels like it sucks really bad, but I have the bishop pair. Do not forget. So the computer is screaming right now, equality. Completely equal. Although he does have the center. He has easy ways to castle either way. Dude's got options. And the second that I develop this knight, he just makes another pawn weakness. So I might have to capture, develop. But then there's this fork, so I literally can't let this knight in because then he just forks this and this. And I can't defend everything. Now I can capture. What's he trying to do with this guy? I feel like that actually gave me a moment. We capture, bishop captures, knight jumps in, you capture and I capture. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll trade off the bishop pair. I'll trade off the bishop pair if I can get some like weaknesses out of it and then feel a little bit better about myself. This bishop is also like locked out of the game. So, and pushing these pawns so that he can never get in, like my bishop might be stuck in this little tiny square. Like this little tiny square. His entire existence. And dude, I'm thinking just step up with the king. Okay, so he takes. Jumping in with the knight. Defending the pawn and developing a piece. If he brings the rook, dude, I might step up with the king. He goes for a capture. I capture. The rook gets in. I got to do something about this terrible, terrible situation. And he could just castle and double up, and we play on this open file. That's what we're worried about. So I might have to do this, and Jesus Christ, I might have to just sacrifice pawn here. Go back and go for the pawn push. That's what I need to do. This. That's the new game plan. Also, this pawn is hanging. Sort of. Yes, it is, because he has to take back. Then there's this, but then there's this. He gets out with check. So I don't actually get it. So that's a fancy move. That's a fancy move, but it doesn't actually threaten my rook. Why, yes, it does, actually. It's rather unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. I could give this check, but that just kind of just invites this knight, so that doesn't solve any problems. I can jump forward. Just kind of steps up or castles or something, so that doesn't solve any issues either. And if I move this rook, and I can't even put it on the open file, yikes. We lose a pawn. Falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely falling apart. And not only that, I'm losing a pawn, but I'm also losing in the endgame. But let's check his bullet. He doesn't play bullet. He doesn't play bullet at all, and his blitz is actually not that great. So, being down 2 pawns, but going into an endgame like this, I got chances. I got chances. Okay, so he wants the bishop, but I can give it check. Can I? Check. The other knight comes. I threaten the knight. This might solve. Okay, that might have not been the greatest idea. The whole reason for that was to push this pawn so I don't lose another pawn. You can also attack this, and then this becomes a threat. So like getting the rook involved maybe isn't a terrible idea. I've really got no forward momentum, and my bishop on the side of the board still sucks. I'm still sort of threatening this, but even like, or I'm just threatening this, but even once I do that, he can just attack it. I just don't feel confident about being able to hang on to that pawn in any such way. I don't know why he didn't just capture. What did he see that he did not like? So now this is a threat. So long story short, I have to either defend. This actually keeps the game going longer, I believe. We push forward, and my dark square bishop just kind of lives there. But then capture. What's coming next? Here. This maybe is too weak. Let's do it. It's defended. Wait. Capture. I have to take. Then this is hanging. Ugh. Tactic to lose another pawn. I'm so terrible. I should have just retreated. I was trying to keep the game going. In the spirit of chess. We'll pre-move this. Try and pressure our opponent at least a little bit. I did not mean to play that move. I did not mean to play that move. What on earth is happening right now? What did that accomplish? I mean, a knight can maybe get here. Do Do I step over? This feels right. Jesus. Okay, so he wants some action over here on this side of the board. This. What do I do? What do I do? I feel like I need to maybe just sacrifice a pawn. What if I go for this? 40 seconds. This might just go for some simplicity. And I could pin it. Not really sure that does anything so great for me. Okay, he hits me with a fork instead. We're stepping over. Bruh. Bruh. I should have maybe explained that a little bit faster than I had played it, but we're at a minute. So long story short, the pawn was defended tactically because the pin at the end, I was gonna say, maybe in some other situations it didn't work. And tragically enough, I'm gonna have a check and pick this up as well. So what on earth does he do in this position? Games are won and lost in the endgame. All of that opening preparation and whatever is complete nonsense. Don't do it. And he resigns, as you kind of have to. I could have even given him time, but this position right here is bad. It is really bad. Like, you could defend, but then I just take. And you're still in the pin. So if you step away, then I just grab this. And you have no useful checks. Like, everything is taken. Boy, oh boy, the 2100 goes down. Not easily, but he goes down. And so we're going to switch scenes right here. Look, I learned how to do this all in one little thing. There we are. Instead of making two videos, I'll just do in one. So let's go back to the beginning. We'll do a couple. This is the most important thing. This entire video. Pins are important. Is camera good? Okay. This situation right here, you cannot play the most natural developing move. You cannot. And pushing the pawn is the best move, but then you lock your bishop in. So, developing the knight is the best alternative option. And so, I'll show you real quick. If you bring the bishop, he captures, you capture, and then the queen comes out. And you are just in a world of hurt where you're going to have to give up some pawns. And I promise you, it's you're just losing a pawn, but it becomes really hard to play because, like, he just gets on you real quick. You don't want this position ever. So, simply, c4, they bring the knight, you bring the knight to defend this, and everything's all good. He goes ahead and pins it, and for one, that's just a free pawn. I mean, am I really going to be able to hang on to it? The answer is probably no. Capture, capture, and like I said, this move, it's not the best move. Bringing the queen is actually the best move. But, like, yes, this kind of opens up ideas for that, but you gave up the dark square bishop for the knight. And we go forward. Blunder, not a blunder, a mistake. Okay. Okay. And he's just up a pawn. Plus 1.8. I knew my position sucked. We had to push this pawn. We go for a push, which is yet another mistake. Two mistakes back to back. We do something with the bishop. Oh, is there just a fork here? No, because he can do this same move and kind of get out of it, I suppose. Okay. Then he gets fancy. He plays this move. And then right here, why did he not just take the pawn? Oh, just take here. Then I take. Then you get in. Okay? So I didn't even see that the knight was defending this pawn. I kind of just thought this pawn was a goner. But he could have just removed the defender with check and then grabbed it. So that could have happened. And it did not. So we get this check where I'm able to push the pawn. And so now it's +3, but I'm not actually, like, I didn't lose a bunch of stuff. It's just sort of, like, do something, it's +4, but he doesn't have 4 points of material. It's generally still equal, I'm down a pawn. And my bishop is out of the game, so essentially I'm down a whole piece. Now, still, why does this fork not work? Because he gets out of it with a check, I step up, and then you just grab the bishop. That's why it doesn't work, because the bishop's there. Okay. That's why the fork doesn't work. Okay. And dude, he just left the pieces on. I step up with the king and he's still winning. I step over with the king. Oh my god, king defense was my strategy here. +3. Capture. Step over. Capture. Capture. Oh. And then a fork. And dude, you know one thing about chess? I had a -4 position. He has a -2 and he gave up. Bro, keep going. Like, you don't have to give up in this position. Like, my bishop is still out of the game. You are still the one applying pressure. So it's like, even you step over, I mean, like, I grab this, you grab this. It's not over, bro. Look how naked my king is. Your pieces are, like, on top of my king, and this bishop sucks. So sometimes when a blunder happens, people just resign, and I'm going to say to you, don't do it. It's worth playing. Because, like, dude, just, like, you can make a comeback. Don't give up. If you hang your queen, okay, you can resign. But if it's anything else and the game is still, like, active, definitely when you both have 1 minute, anything can happen. I have played games before where I mop up, like, 2 rooks with 1 knight and then somehow win with a pawn. Like, don't give up. And so 78%, 77% accurate. Not my best, not my worst. It was kind of a short game. It didn't even make it really into the end game. So I was talking about won and lost in the end game. We didn't even make it to an end game. That was an exhilarating, fun game of chess where I was losing the entire time, but somehow get a little tactic. How does a 2100 fall for something as simple as this? Boom, boom, boom. Just, this is, I have the dark square bishop. You have no dark square defense. Be careful when your king and your valuable pieces are on dark squares, specifically a diagonal. I'm talking like I'm not great at chess. I was losing the entire game. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000, and it's going to take forever. So if, like, 100 of you could do it, that'd be awesome. So thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one, and I love you. Bye. Oh, hello, and welcome back. And today we have a special treat. One of my subscribers paid a Grandmaster to play me, and so he's 2,600. This dude's like 1,000 rating points higher than me, and so let's just hop right on into it and see what happens. I've never played a Grandmaster before. This is my first game ever. And I'm not sure if we're playing 1-0 or if we're supposed to be playing... Oh boy, we are in it. Looks like we are playing 1-0. I think we're gonna just castle. I'm like overthinking all my moves. I think we're just gonna take, scoot back. I think my rook just got trapped, so that's no fun. Now my knight can't really get out. We're gonna scoot up. He's got 8 seconds on me as well. We're gonna step back. Step all the way back. I'm so scared. He can sacrifice here at some point. Here to trade this off if we so need. We'll go here to maybe trade this. He could probably just take this pawn. I think we're going to take here. Then I need to bring this other rook. Oh boy, what's going on here? I think we're going to just push this. Slide here. Oh boy. We step up. We lose something. It is what it is. Maybe we trade the queens and just lose. What am I supposed to do here? Oof. Oof. I'm so lost. Oh boy. So that's how Grandmasters play chess. Now we know. Sorry for the commentary. Maybe I should have been playing like a 3 +2 or something to get a little bit more of an instructive game, because I just have no hopes. Oh boy, we are doing a 3+2. So let's just hop right on into it. Oh boy. He probably doesn't know how to play the Caro-Kann, so let's go for that. Okay. The Tartakower. Bro. And playing fast didn't work in my favor either. I think we're going to step back and go for the pawn cube variation. I think I trade. Maybe we trade like this. got to get this knight involved. He can kind of step forward with tempo. Yeah. Defending with my king, hiding behind the pawn cube doesn't seem like a great idea, but I don't know what else to do. But more or less, this is an even situation, and we got the queens off the board. So if I can like bring the rook, he's got the bishop pair. So actually, he's probably slightly better than me, and his rook is better. So he is probably winning, but the computer is going to say that it's completely equal. So I'm kind of inclined to just like hop straight into an endgame, because that's where I feel like maybe I have the best option. Like almost guaranteed these are my next moves. I think probably bringing the knight first would make sense. Here, here, then bring the rook. He'd probably push here, or he'd push and attack the knight, but then I get to the middle. He could attack me again. If he takes, then I would have a ruined pawn structure and have this weakness in the middle of the board, and I don't love that. But I've got a 1 minute time advantage. Is he calculating just like everything? I don't actually know what to think in this situation. And really the point of this is I just want to get one win. Just one win. He brings the king. I am going to just bring this. We then need to bring the knight. He can push the pawn. I can't go here because it's a pin. Should I do this and kind of like this? You can push, take, take. I kind of want to go here. If we trade, if I trade, he has to step something back. This guy also, he lives in Croatia. I didn't even mention his name. Push. King forward. That kind of stopped. That was probably not the greatest. I can go here. King active. He can get a check like this. And then these pawns back here are a little bit weak. But I've got this 4-on-3. What's his idea there? I think we just step back with the knight. Take, take, here. Check. So take, take, and then I have to... If I step forward... So if I take, he hits me with this. Then he gets this pawn. So I think I have to step up. But if I step up, he hits me with this check. And that's checkmate. If I step up, just checkmate, right? So I have to take and just let this happen. Uh-huh. Oh boy. He's going to get all of my pawns. I step here. He takes my pawn. I jump in. Defends this temporarily, but he attacks me. I hit him with a check. He gets my pawn. But I'm up a pawn. So I got his pawn, so he's going to get my pawn. But I just don't want to lose this one. Oh. Oh. Do I have any way of defending this? I mean, I can get into the position like here, 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 here. I don't think I have a great way of getting rid of that problem. Here, 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 take, push. I think we're going to do it and have an opposite colored bishop endgame. Now we're completely even on time. He's not going to take, but even if he doesn't, now this pawn is just on a light square. He can just go behind it. Yeah, that was stupid. We're going to take. He's going to get this pawn. That's no fun. Do I have a way to attack another pawn? Attack the bishop. Here, he pins me. I think we just attack. It's completely even. I actually have like I'm losing a pawn. I'm down a pawn, but I'm actually doing okay. Like against the Grandmaster, I'm doing okay. And he can what is he trying to do? I mean, we hit him with this check, and we're attacking this pawn. He can just grab this at will whenever he feels like. And he can also kind of start doing something like this. We hit him with a check. I felt like that needed to happen. What if I just... This? This? I mean, this guy is trapped. He can get in. We push a pawn. We step back. Oh my god. Okay. We get out. We get out. We slide all the way over here. He's got a passed pawn. Now he's up a pawn, but it's a passed pawn. We're in an endgame where I'm losing. And he has a bishop pair. He can go here, but I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in with this fork and get rid of this guy. And then maybe I can wiggle my king over here. But then my king is just stuck guarding this, and I've got a dark square bishop. So I think trading this knight is not actually in my favor. But I've got 5 seconds, and he's got so much. This fork is coming. Take. My bishop stops that. He could scoot around and eventually get my bishop to wiggle out. But I can get rid of my knight for a bishop. And we're in an endgame. He's got 26 seconds. Even Grandmasters blunder in low time, right? How much 0 + 1 does this guy play? I play a fair bit. What is going on? Where'd he go? We're going to take it. We're going to say that that's my first Grandmaster win ever. We're going to message him. I'm going to message him and say what happened. Well, let's just check this game. We should flip it to look at it from my perspective. Computer analysis. We don't actually need to do it. But look at this. He's slightly winning, but we've got like an equal... We got like an equal position. He's definitely not crushing, but now he is getting this pawn. It's still generally equal, but it's pretty close. And now all of a sudden he is just up a pawn, and that up a pawn... Oof, putting my knight here would have been a good square. We attack, he comes back. We're kind of just making moves. And here all the way at the end, I want to get rid of this thing. What is the... He's absolutely winning. Okay. We're hopping into it again. So scared. What's he going to play? The Sicilian? We go into the open Sicilian. Not the open Sicilian, but I'm going to bring my knight. Defend this. Probably we push this pawn. We can scoot here. We'll probably just trade this knight. We're going to castle. Scoot this guy back because I don't want to get pinned. I know that this isn't a great move, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then this knight, dude studies his openings. This is where my opening knowledge is completely kaput. I'm going to just push this pawn because I don't know what else to do. You can push here. Because this knight has a great future jumping to this square. Normally I would want to trade it off. How do we feel about stepping over here? Now this knight goes here, and essentially I have to trade. Don't love it. We can jump in like this. That doesn't work. This doesn't really have any future squares. So we go like this. It's defended twice. He scoots the queen up. Now, essentially this, I'm going to get pressured here. I'm actually fairly convinced that pushing is what I'm supposed to do. Do we scoot up? Don't blunder. Oh my god, he's just applying pressure to this. I can't do anything. What if I, like... Here? Probably this pawn push is at some point going to be a good idea. It kind of forces my knight to this side of the board. Oops. I mean, I have to take. Yes. I'm going to lose my pawn. Oh boy. I mean, we knew this was going to happen, so there's no real reason to get upset about this. He can take this, and I can't attack, because then this is hanging with check. Okay. He got my rook. I mean, I got his rook, but he got a lot of my pieces. Now we have a serious imbalance in the position. This isn't going to work. I want to break open. How do we feel about bringing my knight over here? Or like this? Let's just bring the knight this way. This is getting attacked a few times. Or, I mean, it's getting attacked by the rook. He has 3 minutes still on the clock. He can hit me with a check. Here. Does this work? I mean, he just scoots back, but I get rid of this. We've got some pieces attacking this. And I got the rook for the knight and 2 pawns, so these are the 2 extra pawns in the position. I think I have to take that. Okay. We go for this. He can immediately attack my pawn. If I can grab the pawns, I think that I'm all of a sudden actually doing quite well. We get active with the rook. I need to bring the king. He's got these 2 passed pawns, so he's basically just pushing the passed pawns is what he wants to do here. What do I want to do here? I could double up on it. Like this. This. I could force the pawns. This. This. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? We bring the king. If I can get into the position somehow, I will be really happy. We push this. Dude is just advancing pawns. We step over. This fork, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I want to bring my king over here. We bring the king here. He can go here. Here? He just pushes again, right? If he jumps in... Bro. I mean, at least I have a check, but... We take here. 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 I think that I was doing all right in that one. He's just so good at the end games. That last game, I felt like there was a chance. There was a small chance. He like sacrificed. He sacrificed, you know, the exchange. I just needed to get rid of some of those pawns. He pushes a pawn. I'm gonna push a pawn. If he pushes this, I believe that I'm supposed to just take. I can also push forward. We're just gonna take. We're then gonna push. I mean, I can attack the queen. I should maybe have done that. We attack the queen. Queen comes in with check. I lose my knight. I take here. He takes here. I can no longer castle because of this guy. We're doing that essentially because I want to bring this knight to the middle if at all possible. He takes with the bishop. If I take here, 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 let's just do it. Boom, boom. If we see this, I think taking is really scary. Okay, so he attacks my knight. I mean, we defend. His knight's coming in. Boom. Boom, boom. I need to defend it one more time. And if I do any type, I think I jump back and defend like this. Did that work? I defend this. Here. 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 I think that does work. I'm spending all my time trying to just defend this. He can sacrifice this. Yeah. Ugh. And I take. And then he's up a piece. We resign. Okay, normally they take and we go into that line. We're going to develop the knight. Bring the bishop here. Here. Take. And I get forked. Bro, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Okay. Okay. He can still just take. I think I bring the bishop all the way back. I played that incorrectly, but I do know that that's the best move. I feel like we have to develop this. No? This becomes a problem. I think we check. We check and he brings something back, right? Oh, he blocks like that. That didn't solve my problem. Okay, now I think I need to play this. This pawn is also just hanging in the middle of the board. And he can take it and maintain defending this. This is a fried liver pawn sacrifice idea, essentially. Like, I'm in a big problem here. Here. I mean, we do this. There's this check. This is still covered by the queen. I can maybe develop here. He can hit me with his check, but then I could step up. Okay, so that makes sense. He doesn't necessarily want to just allow that. I can take here now. Do we just take this pawn? He takes, right? Now my dudes are hanging in the middle of the board. Check. I mean, he comes back. This is still defended. Not a lot we can do about all that. Check. He comes back like this, attacking this. Am I just lost? If I go down a piece, then there's really no point. Those first few games I did okay. Do I just push? If I push, he hits me with this check. And I lose my queen. I don't want to be disrespectful and do that, but I'm pretty sure that I'm lost. If I push, check. If I take, he takes my queen. So I think we just need to resign. I'm gonna try and be quiet. We don't really need to commentate too much. I really just want to win, which I don't think is really possible, to be honest. If I make like a tiny mistake, he'll just find it. I'm so scared of this player, dude. We're doing this. We're doing this. This gets attacked, and I'm just kind of in trouble because this is coming. But actually, this pawn push takes that away. I think that's what you're supposed to do in this position. Probably we need the rook over here. I can also push. Like this? No, that doesn't work. We defend the pawn like so. We jump in. Take, 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 take. This is hanging all the way at the end. I think this makes sense. So that the queen can't take it at the end of all those lines. This isn't really going to work because I lose a pawn. I could jump in like this. Makes sense. Makes sense. We step in here. These knights, I'm not sure what to think about this position. I think we're just going to slide up here. Still, my bishop is defending this. Now he wants to come in here. And my bishop's no longer supporting all of that stuff that was nice so long ago. I think we're going to go here. We're defending this. We got this. Okay. if we take here, here, and he just crams this pawn into my face. But I don't want to give this up. If I do this and he takes, I lose my knight. If he takes here, I have to replace this. Got a lot of holes in my position. Did I just hang a pawn? That's awesome. Love that. He can also just get out. Dude, I don't even know what to think. Now I'm down a pawn. I'm like, well, I'm screwed. Not a lot to be done anymore. What if we just go for the pawn break? What about that? Okay. Here, here. Here, if he takes, I take the bishop. He takes with his bishop. I throw in no check that works. What if I push forward first? We attack the knight. He steps back. Sacrifice. Take. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Unfortunately, my knights are very far away. And look at his bishop, dude. Literally cutting off every square. He could, like, just threaten checkmate, essentially. And it's like, what am I supposed to do about that? I can slide over like this. Okay. We go here. This knight is way out of the action. I'm so lost. Chess is hard. This is so weak. No, dude, I think I'm actually doing all right. Let's check this computer. I think I'm doing okay. I'm not doing okay. It's equal, if anything. Okay. Oi, oi, oi. He says, last one. Pray for me, boys. Pray for me. Oh, boy. Boom. What's up? What do you know about this opening? It's not a real opening, so he's probably never seen it. Although it gives black pretty much just an advantage right off the bat. We're going to go ahead and do this. We step back. That's scary. What if we just take? I don't want a castle. I'm so scared to castle. We're going to do it. Okay. Okay. I mean, quite frankly, this knight probably needs to be doing something. What a crazy knight rerouting idea. What if I just jump in? Will he take? He probably won't. We grab this. What am I supposed to do, bro? Can even do something like attack my queen. Let's just take. Then let me take. And then here, I'm down a piece. Why am I undeveloping my pieces, bro? I need to be attacking forcefully with checkmate, and it's not happening. That's like a crazy, crazy, almost checkmate idea. Like, he can hit me with this check, and I would have to take. So if he gets rid of the bishop, then this is checkmate, which is kind of an interesting checkmate. So now he could play here and sacrifice the queen for it. Did that hang this? This. And there's just check. No, this, check. Block, checkmate. If we do this, my pieces are all kind of tied down. There's not really a great way around it. Just make a move. About to get smoked. Absolutely destroyed. How many games did we play? We played 7 games. One of them was a bullet game. So, if you ever wondered, how would Kip 314 chess do against a, this is unstoppable checkmate, essentially? That's wild. That is wild. Wow. Well, if you watched that entire match, it wasn't even close. There was never a moment. There was the first or second game when, and it was kind of close. He's basically saying thank you. Wow, that was epic. I think we're gonna go check profile. It was like the second or the first game. So let's check with the computer. We're gonna check it with the computer, and I will see you over there. And all right, here we are in the analysis, and I just got done having a little chat with him, and he basically said in my Sicilian with white, f3 is a bad move because I'm supposed to f4, push f4 and castle queenside, and then just launch the h4 pawn. He said that's the correct way of playing the Sicilian. So we're gonna go into my game. This is the best game that I played. If we take a gander at this graph, there were moments where I had an advantage. So I didn't get completely steamrolled in every single game. There was this game where I had a potentially I had a +3 advantage. After that, we don't got to worry about this side of the graph. We know what happened there. And so he played 85% and I played 81%, 3 blunders. So let's just top right on into it. So the reason that I play this is he's saying at some point, the computer even says f3, but he was saying you play f4, move the queen somewhere, and castle long, and then you just have an opposite side castling game, and you basically just try and launch your pawns. And so the computer's even saying to launch the pawns right now. We have an equal position. I castle the same side, and it's completely even. Now, the other reason for all of this is because this open file, my c2 pawn becomes a little bit difficult to defend, and I've got this c4 hole in my position where eventually his knight can figure out a way to get there, okay? So, and once that happens, I essentially have to take it with something, and it's difficult to push this pawn because then my knight becomes undefended on the open c file, okay? So he was explaining a little bit of all of this. I'm supposed to just immediately confront this position because the open file, like I said, is going to become the issue. He castles, I push a pawn, he brings the rook, one piece is now on the open file. I move my knight back, it's still generally equal, I'm slightly losing, but he makes a mistake here. So, where are we at? He makes this mistake, he triples up on the file, I scoot my rook over, and he gives up the rook because he's going to basically get my knight and some pawns for this rook and destabilize my pawn structure. So it's more or less an equal investment. The reason that this is a blunder, and look, grandmasters do make blunders, is because I can take, he brings the rook, I question what's going to happen with these pawns, or I just directly attack. So the line that I looked at was we try and break the pawn structure. If he takes, then he's just got a broken pawn structure, and I've got an open file of my own to get into the position. And I've got the 2 rooks, so the open files are going to benefit me. Or he can try to push it forward, and then I attack the rook. He can scoot here to defend it, but then I bring the knight. He can do something with his pawn, and then I attack the rook. I'm also attacking the bishop. He would have to scoot back, and then I launch the pawn, and he's going to have to do something, and I can have a +3 advantage if I go into all of these crazy lines, where it's still not 100%, and then his best move here is to sacrifice. And so none of that happened. I should have been able to play a little bit more proactively. And then he makes a blunder again, where I need to go for this pawn push. He basically gave up the rook so that he can have these 2 passed pawns. And so now we are in an endgame where I needed to be more proactive with my queen. I still have a +1 advantage after this if I move, if I play e3 with my queen. We scoot around, we trade, he comes in. I do find this beautiful fork, he steps back, and it's a blunder by me. I have a +2. +2, I just need to go for this pawn push. And it makes sense because I got 2 things defending it. So if he does take, I can take with my rook even. He basically has to take, then I take. And now we're just in an endgame where the pawn does not have a buddy. So I've got the rook, he's got the bishop pair, but this pawn is going to become a problem. And so this would have been a lot easier to play. What happened in the game is I just went for trading everything off. And now it's completely equal because these pawns have remained together. We trade this off, and still it's equal. I'm doing quite all right. His knight is literally in the best square that it can possibly be. But what I needed to do was I push this pawn, and if he doesn't take, I have a passed pawn. So he has to take, and he separates his pawns, and now this pawn is alone. So it's an equal trade, but 2 pawns is way worse than just 1. The 1 pawn I can deal with, but when they're together, you know, you can potentially like push, and then if I attack, you push again, and it's defended, and it just 2 pawns is way better than 1. And so we still slide on in here. We're still in a good position. I needed to go for this pawn break, scooting up a little bit, attacking the pawn. This would have been more proactive. If you see, if he pushes, I take, he takes, and then the rook would be hanging. So that's not an option. I would have been just forever attacking. We do blockade the pawns, but now my rook is kind of a little passive, and this rook is also passive. We scoot around. We do this, and it's just the wrong idea. It's just the wrong idea. I'm supposed to bring the king. I'm supposed to do other stuff. Don't do any of it. I have 20 seconds, so I figure, you know what, maybe we trade some pawns on this side of the board, but it just doesn't work because he still has this passed pawn, and it's 2 squares away from making a queen. We trade, and now we're just in an endgame where I lost, and I resigned shortly after. And so that was the best game that I had. Was I going to see any of this advantage? Not a chance, but the computer says that I did have an advantage, so we're going to take it. We're going to take it at face value. I had an advantage against the Grandmaster, and he like disconnected or something and lost on time 1 game. So we're going to take it. It's in the record books. 1 win against the Grandmaster and 1 real game where I actually had a potentially +3. A potentially. Look at this graph. Imagine if I beat a Grandmaster. It would have been the most epic day. But I'm 1900. I'm 1700 in Blitz. So there was no chance. That's kind of what I expected going into this, was lose, and maybe learn something. And so moving forward, I will try what he recommended. His free advice is to castle opposite, push f4, not f3, and then just castle opposite and launch the h-pawn, because that's a fun way to play chess. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. I love you. Please subscribe. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and it is a long and treacherous road trying to do so. And so every subscriber counts. So thank you so much. Get out of here. I'll see you in another video. If you enjoyed it, if you never see me again, that's okay too. All right, have a great rest of the day, and bye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back at it again with another epic and educational day of chess. Today, we are facing an 1862 with the Caro-Kann. We're going to take a quick gander at his profile, and we can see he is pretty good at rapid, but he hasn't played one in a while. He is pretty good at blitz, and that's all he plays. He doesn't even play bullet. 15,000 games 6 years ago. It looks like we have a formidable opponent, and what we are going to be doing here is going for the Tartakower, where they're going to most likely capture. He could step back, but this is the main line, where we capture, we go this way, we castle this way, and this is one of my most favorite lines. And sometimes it can result in a little pawn cube if I jump forward and get chased around. I know those were bad arrows, but this bishop ends up there. So we're going to castle. We're going to be putting our rook on the open file. We will be pinning the knight. We'll be doing a zigzag with our knight this way. So, like I said, I think actually the best move was to step over. That was a little premature, but it is what it is. We step back. We just stay a little bit cautious here because this bishop is undefended, so we don't want any discoveries that hit our queen. So I know that pushing this rook, or just not pushing, putting this rook onto the open file is the best move before I made all these bishop moves. So we're stepping back, and like I was talking about, are we going to get a pawn cube structure? It looks highly probable. I still need to develop my knight, but potentially getting a little bit active with my queen is not the worst thing in the world. And so if he captures, we capture towards the center and take a look at this. We got a pawn cube, and if you're a chess player, I know you like to see pawn cubes just as much as I do. And so we need to develop this knight. He already pushed this pawn 1 square instead of 2 squares. Not really 100% sure what that queen move does. If he's trying to apply pressure here and here, I don't think I'm scared of that. Jumping around with the knight seems to make a fair bit of sense. I could also put my rook just on the same file as the queen. That's also probably not a terrible idea. Or we could try to trade. There's a lot of options going on. And one thing to note is the knight is undefended and his pawn structure sucks on this side of the board. I think we're just going to scoot my rook to the center of the board. It seems to make sense. This didn't have any immediate threats, so it gave me the opportunity. What on earth was that move? What is the idea behind that? Capturing here because it's pinned. But I can push forward, locking down the pawn structure. Like, push forward. If he jumps in, like, yes, it's scary, but did that really accomplish anything good? Probably not. I could just step forward or step over, and then that takes away all these ideas, but I kind of like pushing. No, I don't like pushing. I took a long time to play that move because if you could tell by the silence, I definitely was not sure what the correct move was. That is just checkmate. Or not checkmate, but I don't want to let that happen. Stepping back with the knight seems like such a stupid move. But we're going to do it. And I almost just hung my queen. I did not even realize that made the queens see each other. But now we're down a pawn, and it looks like we're going to be going into a endgame where we trade the queens, and I'm just straight up down a pawn. So that was pretty bad chess by me. Now we're just down a pawn, and so he's got a 2-minute time advantage essentially. He shuts down the file over here. We probably got to get active with this knight, or we're just going to lose the game. This pawn push also attacks here, so I think we're just going to make a weak move, and we're going to try and go into an endgame where we can find some tactics. And one thing to note is, just because you lost a pawn, don't give up, you know what I mean? I got a worse position. It's probably like minus whatever. I want some space for my rook. I can also like get a tempo winning move on this knight. No, I can't. He just jumps to the center. So we're going to put my knight over here. And we don't want to be trading everything. That is almost certain. So if this bishop moves somewhere, yeah, the bishop moves somewhere. I mean, okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense than going here and hanging it with this check tactic. But I don't want to trade the rooks. But if I step over, then his rook is really quick to just get into the position. And that's really not a lot of fun for me. Stepping over, he gets in. I step up, he jumps in. I think I'm just like falling apart, to be honest with you. This sucks. This absolutely sucks. Bro just wants to simplify into this endgame where he's winning. It's not really a terrible idea, but I think we're just going to do it. We are going to do it. I feel like this is better. Probably it's about time for him to bring this knight. We're trying to get active with my knight. I got 45 seconds, but... Oh, I got no... There's no increment. This is a no increment game of chess. Oh, dear lord. I can jump in and fork and grab this pawn. I'm attacking this pawn, and I'm also sort of attacking this pawn. This is not fun. I'm attacking the bishop, and then we are in an endgame where his knight steps back. We're doing this. He can just push, but then I push. Okay. Squares are covered. The jumping in squares. He can fork us, so that's a little bit inconvenient. We're going to step forward over like this. We're going to step forward like this, maybe. Going for this. He can jump in, but I can take. We're jumping in. Take. Okay. We touch the knight. 28 seconds. He can't step forward. He could go here, but then I just take. So I think, finally, I might be grabbing this pawn with a little king fork. Take note that you can fork with every single piece in chess. All of them can do it. They do it in different ways. That's part of why chess is so hard. But you can do it with the king. Okay, we're grabbing this. He can get in, but we're locking it down over here, and I'm literally trying to wiggle into this position, baby. Here, 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 here. He can step in, but I step back. You can take, and then I take. Okay. He steps in. I don't think I can give that up. He can flag me. Unbelievable. Yes, we got it. Yikes. Oh, bro. I put the mouse down. I put the mouse down. Never put the mouse down when you have that low in time. Are you kidding me? All I needed to do was capture. He's a genius. He's a genius for playing that move, and I let my guard down. The reason that I'm playing this move is obvious. It forces the queen trade, but he stepped forward, and I pre-moved this. I'll get better in the future. I'm sorry that happened. In my hearts of hearts, that's a draw. We could check it with the computer. There's really no need because I played a perfect game of chess, but yeah, here I'm actually probably winning. This is the only important part of the game, essentially. Is it still a draw or am I winning? I'm winning. What I needed to do was realize I can defend this from stepping back and come in with the king and win these pawns. Probably. I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about. I don't. Sorry, I got a draw. Good enough. I liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello. We are back at it again with another epic and educational day of chess. I have done some off-camera grinding. How can I show you this? We're going to scoot it over. There's my chess channel. Check it out. We got some videos that are coming right up. And then, can we see my ratings? Where are they at? We got 2100 bullet. Greatly inflated. That is not accurate. Blitz, also 2000. Greatly inflated. I'm going to have to do some more playing and lose some rating. But right now, we're focusing on the rapid, where I'm 1700. And what we need to do is absolutely smoke some of our opponents and climb up the rating ladder. And so the other ones, I have just fared very well against everybody that I've faced. So my bullet games, crushing people. My blitz games, flagging people, let's be honest here, from losing positions. That's how I've been getting it done. But we got the rating up. So today we are facing a 1660. Doesn't say where he's from. Dude doesn't play bullet. e4. I hope that wasn't too long of an intro. Me flexing my inflated elo. That's not even an accurate elo. But it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. We're all a little bit sad that Zip Ties and Lube is shut down. We have e4, e5. We bring the bishop out to start the bishop's opening. How will our opponent react to this? Pushing a pawn on the side of the board. It's not going to make him lose the game, per se. You don't want to play chess like this. Straight up. These moves do not address what is going on in the position. What do I want to do? I feel like breaking in the center makes sense. Like he has neglected to develop anything, and so I think just smashing in the center is a reasonable type move. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. I might even have a sacrifice where I jump in. Should I just go for it? We sacrifice. I mean, essentially he has to take. I jump forward with this not check. That's not even a check. What am I calculating? That hits these squares. Sacrifice here. Check. He blocks. We hit him with this check. He blocks like this. I don't think it's worth it. It's not going to work out. And I'm not going to waste all of your guys' time thinking and pondering about a sacrifice that does not make any sense. So we do have +5. So essentially, I will not lose this game on time. I will lose this game or win this game by making a blunder. And so he goes ahead and he brings the queen out. I think what we're going to do is we're going to draw the queen into the center of the board because we can take, and then the knight jumps out. And this is defended. So I think we're going to just take. Essentially, he has to take back. I mean, he could try to do something else. But now we throw the knight forward. This is defended. He has no checks. And it just looks like we've got a nice position. And so what's going on in this position is our opponent has neglected to develop any of his minor pieces. His most advanced piece is his queen. And right now it's going to show that I got to win a tempo-winning move. Now, trading the queens and letting him develop a piece is potentially not the best thing for me. I don't want to trade the queens, so what I'm thinking about is jumping forward with my knight. We're applying pressure to this square, and we're kind of taking this away. And if the knight comes out, we might just go ahead and try and fork. I think that would actually work. Okay. Officially, we have our first tactic in the position. We jump in. We attack the rook. We attack the bishop. If he takes with check, he might do so out of desperation, but it's not actually going to fix our opponent's problems. So we jump in. For one, the queens see each other, but I'm attacking the rook. So if he trades and I take, this fork still exists. So if I jump in and he moves the rook, then I just take the bishop for free. So this is the correct move, and that is what we're going to play. Essentially, because he has not developed anything, he did not develop this knight, this bishop is undefended. So he trades. Sometimes people do this out of desperation. And so the problem he had in the position was this fork. Trading the queens does not address that fork. The fork is still very much there. And so he doesn't have a check to get out of it. And so the knight can't even move. So he essentially has to move up here, and then I just take and I'm attacking the rook. And so going back, so now we're just going to grab this straight up. The knight still cannot move. I can jump forward and attack this. If he pushes forward, I hit him with another jumping in. We attack the rook. The rook goes here. Then my knight is kind of screwed. I could jump like this, and if he pushes, I hit him with a check. But then he just steps up, and then all my pieces are hanging. So, I mean, we're up the exchange. I need to develop my last minor piece. If I develop here, I might simply get hit with this, and that's going to open up a place for his bishop. So I think we're going to just throw my bishop on this diagonal instead, so that his bishop does not come out here. Okay. This bishop is stuck on this diagonal now. He can't really get out this way. My knight can't really go forward. We're going to castle. I can't castle. Well, it definitely looked like I was going to be able to. So I'm going to have to do something with my king. Moving up seems a little bit crazy, Because I'm winning, I could probably just castle by hand and do like a little this maneuver. I don't know if that's actually a great idea. I can also come forward and try and get my knight on this beautiful square, but I think we're going to just step forward. We're going to just go ahead and step forward. And so now I know that the position is like a +2, a +3 position, most likely. My bishop is better than his bishop. This knight is better than this knight. This bishop is about equal to this bishop. And then either one of my rooks is better than this rook. So I'm just completely dominating. I believe that I can just pin that. Right? I mean, he doesn't have a check. So I think we're going to just jump in and pin this. If it moves, we just simply trade off the bishops. And my beautiful pawn is preventing this knight from going to any good squares. And still, this knight is not even in the game. And this bishop is not even in the game. I should be figuring out how to move my pieces forward, to tell you the truth. Cool. So we trade this off. He can hit me with a check, threaten this pawn, or not. And I think we're going to move the knight to the middle of the board with the idea of going here, but also being able to push my pawn. So if he pushes here, I mean, he attacks my knight and this pawn, essentially. That would not be so great for me. But I can defend tactically by doing this fork, if that makes sense. Okay, so he wants to trap my bishop. If I go here, I'm kind of stuck on this diagonal. If I go here, I can potentially have this diagonal with the checking square. So we're going to just do this. So when he comes forward, I have chosen this diagonal instead of this diagonal. Which one is better? It's hard for me to say. We're going to simply just trade the knight off. We now have an open file. This pawn push is going to come with tempo, so we're just going to play a slow move. A nice, slow and steady move. We will then put our rook on the open file. If this knight goes anywhere, then I can get into the position. And so basically what we want is one rook here. Let's just take a moment. Where's this guy even want to go? Going here. We're not scared of it at all. He goes here. We go here. I mean, yeah, he can come in and hit my rook. Maybe that wasn't the greatest move, but it doesn't matter. All right, he hit my rook. We can get behind this pawn. We get behind this pawn. My rook gets a little bit screwed over there. So we're just all the way back. All the way back. Sorry for jumping the gun and putting my rook there. What we want is like my rook sliding over here and the other rook infiltrating, or just simply stacking the rooks like so and then forcing the trade of this rook. That's basically what we want. Okay, so now what we're going to do is double the rooks. We have 2 rooks. We control this file completely. Now if the knight goes anywhere, I get in with check, so something like this might make sense in the future. Like just clarifying what's going on with this pawn structure. This knight is undefended, but it's actually kind of a nuisance for me in my position. Okay. It's time we do something about the pawns. The way we win this is essentially rush on into an endgame and just win, because I'm the one with 2 rooks. So essentially if we trade 1 rook in one of these pieces, we're good to go. So I'm thinking about this. If he takes, I just take back. If he takes, we take back. It's defended by the bishop. Defended by the bishop. Next step will be push this pawn forward. Then I'll have pawns on these dark squares. My bishop could even go here and attack this diagonal again, because even if this pawn moves, my diagonal is pretty secure. And even if we see something like this, I can still just jump forward and attack this knight. Right? So we're going to go forward and attack the knight. I mean, if he goes back here, he has no future ever. If he goes back here, he blocks the bishop, and we just hit him with check, and then he comes in, and I can hit him with maybe another check or something. I don't know. I also have this check available. So his position is just falling apart. My small advantage is just growing exponentially at this point. And we just need to make smart moves and keep playing forward. So what we're going to do is just pin that knight. The knight is now pinned. And also, his bishop sucks so bad. Okay, so the king steps over, but we're still going to hit him with this check. He's going to have to step here. So we're going to do a little calculation. Here, 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 and then he comes back and we trade the rooks. So this is what we're going to do. Quick calculation. It's actually easy to calculate most of this because it's really forcing. We give this check. King only has one move. Boom. Then we go ahead and take this. He essentially only has one move to take. Then we have this check. Again, he could come forward, but then we just grab the bishop for free. So he's not going to do that. He's going to bring the rook back, and we're going to trade everything off. And then he's only left with this bishop. So we give him the check. He has to step back. He steps back. We capture this piece. Follow along with me here. We capture this piece. He takes. We step in with check. Okay. We step in with check. If he doesn't block with the rook, we grab this for free. We can also just checkmate. What do you guys want me to do? Should I just checkmate him, or should we simplify this into keep going? Should we keep going? Let's, I mean, this is checkmate in one. But let's just go ahead and win the bishop. Because why not? We're still going to win the game. And so what we're going for now is check and bring the other rook. Then we have two rooks on this rank. And essentially we're just going to gobble everything. And there's nothing he can do about it. He could even resign at this point. But yeah, mate in one was a little too easy, I believe. We can also step in like this. He's going to step here. Then we come in and attack that pawn. Or he resigns. Yeah, so I could have just given him the mate in one. Good chess lesson. So let's check this with the computer. I'm not convinced that I played 100% accurate because I never have ever in my life ever. But I think that was fairly accurate because it was basically just simplifying down. And so we're going to check it with the computer, and I will see you over there. And here we are on the analysis. And playing this game actually gave me an idea. I've been playing like 15 and 1600s, and it's been like pretty even until the endgame where they make a mistake and then I'm able to win. But this game was a little bit different. I feel like I just steamrolled our opponent because he made some weak moves in the beginning and I was able to punish it. And so it was pretty obvious for me, but maybe it can be a little bit more instructive to people that are newer at chess and they don't understand why playing pawns on the side of the board are generally like, these are just not good moves. It doesn't address the center and it gives me a huge lead in development. Furthermore, so the correct way is I'm supposed to just get super active. Just bring the queen out with a threat of checkmate. He has to react to it. But whatever. We smash open in the center. And then yet again, he's pushing pawns, which just doesn't address anything. Now, to further worsen his position, for one, this diagonal is open. For two, this pawn structure is not safe. And then for three, he brings the queen out. But I can simply take. Then when he takes back, he was supposed to just completely let me take this pawn and win it back later. But when his queen comes and takes in the center, I get to develop yet another piece. And so now I have three of my minor pieces, like getting ready to attack. And the only piece he has developed is the queen. And that's a terrible, terrible way to play chess because basically you can't trade the queen for anything but the queen. And so if it gets attacked by something, you simply have to move it. And it's a tempo winning move. So he goes here. I don't want to trade queens, so I go ahead and I throw my knight in the middle of the board. Then, to get my knight to move, he makes yet another weakness. And when you push a bunch of pawns on light squares, you have to think what's going on. Look at all these holes on the dark squares. And so all of these squares are not defended by pawns anymore, or like occupied by pawns. So my knight can jump in. Technically, going and attacking this queen is the best because the queen will have to move, and then I get this fork, and I win this. And once I win this rook, this knight is no longer defended. So technically, the best line here is attack the queen. The queen moves. I hit him with check. He does something. Then I win this. And not only that, this knight is also undefended. So that was the best line. But in chess, if you calculate a line and it's winning, do you really need to spend more time in calculating another line that's more winning? Sometimes and sometimes no. So when I see that I'm simply going to win a piece here, I'm either going to win the rook or win a piece. And then the trading the queens is yet another instructive moment. So this is the problem. This is the issue. Trading the queens and making me not be able to castle, it doesn't, like, yes, it solves your problem temporarily for, like, yes, I have to react and take the queen back, but it didn't fix the underlying issue of this. So sometimes people do this. But a more accurate move would be just accepting that this is going to happen and I don't know, trying to trap my knight somehow like this. And so this didn't fix his issue at all. Now it's just the same position, but we don't have queens anymore, and I can't castle, and I forgot about that. So he goes ahead and he puts a bishop here. We take this, and then these pieces, because his stupid pawn structure, none of his pieces can participate in the game. So we develop a bishop. Technically, I'm supposed to just go for this because he has no real good way of defending it. He'd have to push the pawn, and then whatever. So we go ahead. We scoot the king up to the middle. We pin this because basically, if it moves, we trade off his bishop. And we're already winning, so trading an even trade is a winning trade for me. Then this is a blunder. My blunder of the game. I'm still winning after it, but he can hit me forward. I jump through, and then he just traps my bishop. And so I can take this with check. He goes here. I take this. He'll probably take this one. We step back. I'm still winning, but it's not so great. And this pawn is still defended tactically because of this fork. Okay? So he can't actually take this pawn, or I'll just fork him and then win the bishop there. And so that's my blunder of the game. That's my big blunder of the game, but it's all right. We scoot forward. Bishop's now on this diagonal. Trade off pieces evenly, okay? Now we've got an open file in the middle of the board to play with. I'm the one with 2 rooks, so we're going to solidify my pawn structure to further, you know, just whatever you want to call it. This bishop sucks already because of the pawns, but even if this pawn moves, this bishop still sucks because of my pawns. And so he castles rook to the open file. I jump in, and technically this is the best move because it forces his knight, essentially, to go to this square, which isn't that great. I'm supposed to just slide back and play on the 7th rank because he can't really get my rook out from this situation. So scooting all the way back is a minor inaccuracy, but I'm still winning. So you don't have to make the best move. You just got to make moves that aren't blundering your position. So here, this is quite easy to calculate. This is defended. I scoot forward. It's a vacating square for my bishop wants to be on this square in this diagonal. The knight has to move somewhere. We pin that. He can no longer move the knight. It's pinned to the king. Then all of this calculation that I did right here is perfect, and you should be able to do this by yourself quite easily because everything is a forcing move. So we jump in. He essentially only has one move. Then we take this. He essentially only has one move to take back. Then we give this check. And essentially he only has one move again, or he's just going to lose the bishop, or try and move the king and get hit with checkmate. So he has more than one move, but the other moves are completely loose. So you don't really have to count those as moves that your opponent is going to do. You know what I mean? Like, what are the resourceful moves that your opponent has is what you need to calculate, not what are the moves that blunders a queen. You don't have to calculate those, or you're just going to get the queen. So he blunders mate in 1. I took the bishop just to further be instructive in this game, but essentially what was going to happen is he was going to come in, I was going to take, he was going to come here, and then potentially we just scoot forward and we got a rook versus a bishop, and his bishop sucks. And the only way he's pushing this pawn is to completely give up that pawn for activity. So he's completely lost after this position. Boom, boom, boom. Let's turn on the computer. It's probably like, yeah, a +5 for me. +5 for me. And not only that, I can just go to this open file. And if he comes in, then I just get real in. And if he goes here, I can get behind this. I can win this pawn. Thank you so much for watching that video. If that was too easy of a game and I just completely smoked the opponent, and you would have as well, well, sorry for that. We'll slowly climb the rating ladder. I believe that I'm like 1770 now. And so thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure playing for you. I hope you learned something. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Watch all of my videos. Share them with all your friends. And that's what we're doing here. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. A 2700. Are you guys ready? Okay. Mouse slipping on the mouse immediately in the game. We're going to just do this. Trade that off, push this pawn, develop this bishop, trade off this knight. We don't even care. We're going to castle this way. We go up here. I think we step back. Let's just push. Something's going to the middle. We're going to take, step back. Maybe I could have taken that. I guess not. We're getting a little bit sandwiched here, so we're going to try and spin this little rookie over this way. Step back. We're going to take that. He takes with the pawn. We're sliding over here. We're going for this. He defends. 6 seconds. Did I just hang this? I did, but he didn't see it. Okay, we're going to trade that. Go over here. Come back. Come back. Squares are covered. Push this forward a couple more squares. He got the pawn. Big yikes. We get a check. We're here. Okay, we're gonna take. We're in. I should have been more aggressive there. He also just got my pawn. So now we're in a rook and pawn endgame, but he's behind my pawns before I'm behind his pawns. And I get checkmated. Okay, well, we really expected that to happen. But I just did well. I live in California, so the United States. Let's go. 4-move checkmate. God damn it, it didn't work against this 2700. Step back to defend this bishop. Okay, he didn't want the bishop. We're doing this. Doing this. Hang the knight, bro. Okay, he doesn't hang the knight. Gotta do something here. Castle this way. Launch a pawn. Launch a pawn. Literally don't even care about this fork. Actually I do. I do care about this fork. We're gonna step back. If he steps in, I go this way. Let's just take that. Launch this. We gotta play something. Check, check. In passant, I come back with the knight. We go here. Let's just sacrifice. Step up. Oh, oh, oh. I'm getting mated. Fuck. Fuck. The Caro-Kann was better. It's probably going to take me... I do want to just keep playing this game. He plays the fantasy. You pin the knight. I'm just going to lose on time now. Okay, this guy gets chased around the board. Okay, we push this forward. Okay, we'll let this trade happen. What am I doing? Castle. Somewhere with the knight. Let's trade this. Come back this way. Go for pawn break. We take. I don't know what to do. God damn it, bro. I'm playing too slow. The chances of me beating this guy are actually quite low. Sicilian. Open Sicilian. Actually, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Fuck. Ugh. Fuck. I think I'm not supposed to take in that variation, because then my knight does get chased all around the board. And what does developing this bishop even do? Let's just castle this way. Let's just castle this way. Okay, knight to the middle of the board. We attack. God damn it, dude. He's too fast and strong, bro. Every move that he plays is just, like, destroying me. Let's just play a move that he doesn't have memorized in the goddamn opening theory. Unbelievable. Gotta stop playing this variation, bro. Okay. Okay. He could sacrifice here. We're gonna step up. I can't think fast enough, dude. Bro, I'm not playing this nonsense. We attack this guy. We then push forward. Ugh. Now we just lose the queens. God damn it, bro. I can't play this this fantasy variation, dude. I don't know it very well. That doesn't even stop the mate. It didn't even stop the mate. Hurry up and castle. Please castle. Castled. We're going this way. Take. Here. Tickle this guy. Thanks so much, bro. I think he's getting offline. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. If you are here trying to get better at chess, you are in the right place, because what we are going to do is absolutely destroy this opponent, blow him off the board with some opposite side castling. He said, hello, good luck. You as well. I have to type with one hand super slow. So it looks like, is this the perch? The French? Doesn't matter. We have the opportunity to put 2 pawns in the center. Now, what you need to know about chess openings is you need to study at least the first like 3 moves, because if you play this pawn here, they capture, and then this check comes in, where you're going to lose this pawn, and it's just, it's not what you want. So what you have to do is capture. You don't actually have to do that. I think that's the second option. The third option, I think, is just develop a knight, and when he captures, you take back. But we're going to develop the knight here, applying pressure to this pawn. He's going to go ahead and pin it. We're going to just develop another knight. Is he really going to just go with the double pin action right here? I promise that neither of those pins are going to have any avail. Not with me, buddy. So we're going to break this pin, and then we're going to castle out of this one. So, yes, this is covered by the queen. Okay, you ruined my pawn structure. Great job for you, buddy. We're going to tickle this bishop. He's either going to take or step back. If he took, then he would have just straight up given me the bishop pair. But this knight is on the side of the board. He has aspirations of coming here. But what we're going to do is step forward and kind of clarify this, where all of a sudden this knight has to kind of develop there. Can we immediately apply pressure? I feel like it can't be a terrible idea to just double up my most powerful pieces sort of in this general direction, where if he castles, what do I got going for me here? Well, I can't take here because he reinforces the defense of the knight. I can step here, but no, that doesn't work either. Stepping here really doesn't work either. Does it? I mean, he just takes my knight and I take his knight. Then he steps over. Then we take. But then he takes us with check. I'm actually not really convinced that I played the right moves. So that forks my pieces. This pins that knight. Man, but this also just walks into like... Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. So officially, this became a bad idea. I think that it did. I can attack this pawn, but what we're really worried about is boot, step, attack. I don't really want to give up my my beautiful bishop over here. I could temporarily attack this guy. So we could go boom, 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 boom. Then whatever this knight does doesn't come with an immediate threat, and I can move. So let's do that. If he goes for it, I have 1 minute. Bro, I thought I was playing like a solid rapid game. Okay, looks like we're in a blitz game. So, not loving my position. Let's just reinforce this. I'm not really sure what else to do. Okay, my dude got kicked. We're gonna have to go somewhere with him. That just kind of brings this. So, we're stepping back. He doesn't really have any great discoveries. Maybe this was actually the correct idea. But at this point, we just need to play a little bit faster than super duper accurate. Probably I'm going to step over with my queen. That way I'm like at least somewhat shielded from this onslaught of all of this types of stuff. Oh man, this walks right into this. The knight can come in. But almost immediately I'm going to try and challenge it. Then he does something with his knight. Yes, but I think I can just challenge it immediately. And also, can I just take this? Did he blunder? Is this... How long has this been a thing? Let's just take it. And he resigns. How long was that actually a situation? Okay, I noticed it immediately that it was an option. Okay, so did we blow him off the board? The answer is no. But let's check it with the computer real quick. We're going to stay right here. You're not going to be able to see the actual analysis of everything. So we're going to go down. We'll click to the beginning of the game. Computer analysis. Let's check this. Now, one thing that you need to know. Bada boom. You cannot defend this pawn. If you do, all of a sudden you are losing, like you get a bad situation where he captures. You don't actually have to capture back, so you just accept that it's gone. And now here, you have to step up with your king. And it's a bummer that I know that that is the best move, because I have literally had this position more than once. And so you're down a pawn, but you do get a little bit of leverage because you're able to attack this queen a little bit and get your pieces developed. So, but it's not all that meaningful because your king is in the middle of the board. So you don't want to go into that. So bada boom, bada bing, you capture. Is that the best move? No, you bring the knight out. But I think this is the second option. So if he has studied stuff like this, you might as well just do the second option instead of the number one mainline theory. Because if this is the opening he plays, he studied it more than me because I don't play this. So get some pieces developed. Both of these pins, not so great. Castle, trade. He gave up the bishop for really no great reason. Knight to the side of the board is just not great. We tickle him first. Can't be terrible. We have a check. Block. Check. That's the idea. You're still in the middle of the board. I could have just absolutely steamrolled him. Didn't see it. Did not see that all that could have been an option. The king is still in the middle. I was playing like the king was no longer in the middle. I played no effort to give this king any checks anywhere. And so this sacrifice did work? How? We step in. You step out. And then I'm just bringing the rook over. You can play some moves, but I could just capture for one. You play this, but you're stepping away from the dude. And then at this point, we're really just coming in to kill him. We're stepping back to give it another check. Absolutely insane computer line. None of that was ever going to happen. Either way, I found the one move blunder. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. It was a pleasure playing chess for you. I'm glad that I was able to blow this opponent off the board. That's how you beat a 1900. Please subscribe if you learned anything. All right, get out of here. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. If you are trying to get better at chess, you are in the wrong place, because what is going to happen in this game is we're going to play the opposite side castling, attacking version of the Sicilian. So this is Sicilian. We're going to go into, I hope, some sort of open-ish structure where the bishops get to bishop. The knight trades off almost immediately because it becomes a problem. And so the game plan is as such. Develop the knight, develop the bishop, do something with this bishop. I'm unsure of what that plan is yet. Do something with the queen, castle this way, he'll go this way, and we launch some pawns. So none of that has happened yet, but mark my word, all of it is going to happen. And then we're going to try and perfect the attacking game of chess, because literally the way that I win every game of chess is so boring. I just go up a pawn, like some tactic in a middle game or something, and I just win in an end game. And I am so tired of doing that. I want to like figure out, how do I attack? If he ruins my pawn structure, for one, it ruins my pawn structure, but then this guy's hanging. So deciding what to do with this bishop, my bishop is going to become a pawn temporarily, because we are not going to hang this pawn, because this pawn will be a thorn in the enemy's position at some point. I'm already occupying some squares in the center, which is good for me. And so if he captures, cool. We got a ruined pawn structure. I'll still castle this way, bro. I will still do it. So what he's really going for is figuring out how to, like, just win a pawn on this side of the board. But it's not going to happen. It is just straight up not going to happen. And I think this is pretty close to what I had predicted. You know, I put some of the pieces where I had planned to do so. We're still got to figure out what to do with the queen. Most likely we're just going to go here to e2, because I can't go here, and I don't want to get in the way of this pawn. So that is my analysis on this position thus far. This little standoff, we're not going to do that. We're going to develop the queen first. Most likely he brings the knight. He brings the knight or pushes this pawn, or he castles. And if he castles, so we're playing, by the way, we're playing a 5+5 casual, because 2 tips. If you want to have a fun and enjoyable chess experience, bro, just play casual, because you don't have to worry about the elo. And then for 2, nobody cheats in casual. Okay. So I've played 2 Grandmasters in my life, okay? And one of them gave me some free advice. We had a somewhat similar position, and he said that f4 is more forcing than f3. The computer says that they're the same, but I'm going to learn how to just make this work, because he hasn't castled, so I'm throwing this pawn. Stepping back to touch my knight. Now that I have pushed, maybe my Grandmaster friend knows what he's talking about. I think I like the idea of bringing my knight to this side of the board. He still needs to develop some pieces. So if he's not careful, I might not even castle. I might just try something forcing like this, where a capture will take place, because I will be touching 2 pieces. If I push this pawn, a capture does not need to take place, because he can simply push it forward. So he defends this idea. Terrific. I really want him to castle, because what I don't want is to launch, I don't want to push this pawn. And let's go for it. That's an uncommittal mood. I was literally thinking about just pushing this pawn. I kind of like where my pieces are. I'm somewhat developed. And he wants to get a head start. So it looks like neither of us are really going to be castling during this game of chess. And so that's exactly what we had asked for. So I still somewhat like this idea. It's supported by the queen. So boom, boom. Jump in with the knight. Capture, 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 capture. Then the knight goes somewhere. And then I castle. I don't want to rush into any sort of endgame. That is for sure. Let's just do it. We break in the center. My queen is looking at the king. This forces a trade. He has not castled yet, and he has to do something about it. And so if I'm lucky, he won't get to do anything with the bishop. That's never really going to happen, but we're going to do our best. And then I am kind of ready to castle this way, with the slight problem of my knight getting attacked. What do? I jump to the middle. I push the pawn. Now I got to square for my knight. Ooh, this position is just playing itself. And I am ready. Even after something like this, maybe I just push forward again and really just try and destabilize this naked king. Because I feel like he's only castling this way unless he moves the bishop. So, okay, so what I was talking about is capturing like this is forcing, because it does something with this knight. But then I just... Where does this knight go? He goes over here, but then I attack him. So where is this knight going to go? He has to go... If he goes here, I feel like that's just not good for our opponent. Because I can just capture, right? Attacking the queen, you have to take. And then I'm ready to push forward. But then he might just castle. He might just say, you know what? At that point, I'm castling and going down a pawn. So I definitely don't want to do an up a pawn winning an endgame situation. If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. I did my best for you boys and my one female viewer, but we'll see what happens. Because really, like, coming this way just gets you trapped. No, it doesn't. There's a fork. Okay, you got to think about where's the knight going to go after I attack it. It's going to fork my 2 most valuable pieces. So over here does sort of work, but then I can jump in with my knight, attacking your knight. And if you defend, that destabilizes your position, at least somewhat. Correct? Then I attack the knight? 2 minutes on the clock. Let's give a quick little peek. How are your bullet skills? He steps all the way back. Oh my goodness. He's either a genius or an idiot. Well, what do we do with that? This pawn is actually kind of weak. I did not even consider him stepping all the way back. And so how do we punish? Immediately we attack this rook. I like the idea of this, because it kind of forces the idea of this, this, this. Then my knight's trying to come to the party. I feel like my bishop sucks. So just trading it off is probably a good idea, because this bishop is going to be annoying, okay? Like, if his bishop gets on this square and just gets this diagonal before my bishop does, it's annoying. So what we're going to... Did not see that coming. I kind of like the idea of just pushing this. Do we castle now? Well, this is an idea. Launch. What is the game plan moving forward? We castle, he pushes. I jump over. Let's do it without even thinking. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. My rook is at least active now. He can step back like this and now castle, which was the game plan all along, to be completely honest. But the knight going here is actually a great square for his knight, because look at the future momentum of that knight. However, look at our opponent's clock. And for no bullet skills, I'm a little bit scared for him. So I really like launching a pawn. We can also trade, like try and get active with my bishops. Attack this guy? What is the game plan, my friend? Let's just put my rook here. I mean, it's just gonna let him castle. But then we get the attacking game of chess that I was asking for. And we're running out of time, so it's gonna get a little hectic. So we're gonna just take that. Cool. This doesn't work because he defends it. Correct? But this. Well, there's also this. So drawing his queen into uncharted territories. So I believe that this move just pins two really valuable pieces. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do about that. You got to do something with the queen, and whatever you do with the queen, I'm going to get this rook. So grabbing the pawn in the middle of the board with the queen seemed like a relatively bad idea. So he doesn't need to resign. He can just step back. But that is like his only move. Because literally I am cutting off every single square in the position, bro. Like, so he has to play this. I could essentially pre-move this move. Because he's going to lose the rook for free. But I'll message him. Don't quit. No, I said do quit. Don't. I've been at work all day. I'm tired. This is the only move. Unless he plays something else, just absolutely genius. Like, he could play this, but it doesn't get out of it, because I don't have to actually move the problem. So, like, this looks like it would make me move the problem. It doesn't. I would just take with the queen, and then the problem still stands. And it doesn't actually help in any way. What's he supposed to do with this queen? Let's go ahead and just give him some time. Seems like our friend is having a hard time over here finding this move. I'm going to tell him right now. F6, bro. F6. Only. Jesus. I've got all my like streaming stuff. I got my little beautiful microphone. I've got a light over here so my face is beautiful. So typing is kind of hard because I really need to like scoot this microphone around. We don't want to do that. And he resigns. Wow, quite sad. I mean, he was gonna lose. He was gonna lose anyway. And so getting your queen in the middle of the board like this when all of my pieces are active, you know, I'm hesitant to say that that was all that incredibly accurate by me. I hung that pawn, but I hung it while it was defended tactically. So let's see. Let's check with this computer real quick. How accurate was this So we had the Sicilian. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Pushing forward with the pawn, but developing the bishop is just fine too. This is essentially winning because... Okay, so let's say he didn't do that. We chase him around. Is that the idea? We just castle? Okay. Confusing stuff out of the opening. Don't know about all that line. Okay. F4. Best move. What did I say? Grandmaster gave me a goddamn lesson. F4. Okay, so I'm slightly getting better at chess. I used to play F3. Now I play F4. So things are working out in my favor. We step over with the knight. We push a pawn. This was kind of a waiting move, if we're going to be honest, because I really wanted him to castle so I could castle. Right now it's saying to just castle or bring a rook, but you know what? I made that move because I wanted the castle situation to happen. He steps back, bishop here, rook over, then castle, best move, completely equal position. And then, oh my goodness, it hovered saying it was the best move for a second. Now it's saying that it's an inaccuracy. And it even recommends it as one of the best computer lines, and it still goes into an inaccuracy. Bro, chess is so hard. So this is a blunder because I can straight up just take that knight, and you can't take back because of all of these tactics. So, like I had explained in the video, I just come out here, and boom. So how long did that take me? Like 20 seconds. 15 seconds it took me to find that. That's actually a considerable amount of time when it's basically like attack the queen in the middle of the board. So, okay, let's moment of truth. How accurate was it? 78%, dude. That is terrible. Not my best game of chess. Not my best game of chess. But at least I found this tactic to win the queen or the rook or whatever. And thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure playing chess for you. I will try another game. More attacking. And he didn't have to take with the d-pawn. He could take with the f-pawn. And, I mean, I was completely winning if he took with the d-pawn. And I was like, you know what? It might happen. And I went for it. You cannot play hope chess like that. And I almost just learned a punishing way to have learned that immediately. So all of this stuff is not all that incredibly important. Now here, I can attack the bishop stacks back. Because I have the battery, this comes in with check. I kind of discredited how powerful all of that was. You don't see that too often, okay? There's normally like the queen guarding or something, so I just didn't even consider this. I did see this after, I suppose. I even mentioned it in the game. And so castling is a blunder, and then he captures. So he saw it here, and he said, okay, my best thing I can do is take. All I really saw was boom, 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 and I win a pawn. But I didn't really think about that it was with a check. I kind of thought the castle would come in or whatever. So we completely miss it. Everything is completely equal. We both step over with our kings. We are playing copycat, essentially. We push forward, we attack. We got the bishop versus knight. Sliding around, everything is a complete draw. Boom, 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 boom. And then this, I felt like gave me some hope, but it really didn't. So this whole pawn being a weakness, it's not really that big of a weakness because he can just get behind it and then push it whenever it's really in trouble. So I needed to lock it down on a dark square and then configure my rooks in a way where I can attack it, and he can just like bring the knight to defend it. So just however you want to do it. Like he did, okay? So where was it? Okay, everything's still equal. All these moves make sense. Let me just get active with the rook. Trade. It made me think, like, okay, that was one of the defenders of this pawn. We traded it off. Now figuring out a way to, like, attack it more. I literally even considered, like, bringing the king all the way around the board. So that didn't make a lot of sense. So we'd lock it down. I'm still dead set on figuring out a way to, like, apply pressure to this pawn and get the rook in here. And I even was literally thinking about this. That thought crossed my mind, okay? So that's how you know I'm not that good at chess. That's obviously not the right idea. Bringing the king to being active is the right idea. Okay, trading the rooks, great. Okay, king active. And I just couldn't figure out what to do here. And so I literally even shuffle around. We step around, we go back, put my bishop here, and then all that I really thought here, this is the whole point of the game, is I was like, okay, if he takes with the d-pawn, I'm winning. I win the game. You can't defend this pawn. I win. And then you can't defend this pawn, and I win. Unfortunately, he can take with this pawn, and then I'm completely losing. So I didn't calculate that well at all. Now, calculating that this is not that hard. It's like once this is the position, yes, I have a passed pawn, but the king is in front of it. What you're going to do is push, capture, and I'm not going to be able to take back because all these squares are checks, so my king is going to be back here, okay? So like boom, boom. First I'm stepping back with the king, then you push, then I take, then you go, then you have two passed pawns, and you can bring the king to touch my undefended pawn. So yeah, that's not that hard to see, but with 1 minute on the clock, yeah, that is horrible play by me. Horrible play. And so for all of the reasons that I just mentioned, he can absolutely push this forward. And if I don't take, he's pushing forward more. And so that's not good. And this whole idea doesn't work because he's got two pawns looking here. So pushing forward doesn't create a pass pawn. Okay? He just takes with this pawn. And so that's what we need to do. So I step over. He goes for it. I step back. What else am I going to do? I take. He takes. And right here, this is my last grain of hope. We push. Now, he can just take, because this is also a passed pawn. So then you would have 3 passed pawns against my 2. And yes, you can capture one of mine. But he takes the pawn. And really, what he needs to be worried about here is these pawns. Either you're taking here and you're worried about this pawn, or I just push, or I capture and push. It doesn't really matter because they're both going forward. And neither of them are checks. So winning this, like, you're not worried about this. If your king steps back, like, just, you got to have patience. In the end game, what's more important, winning the pawn or moving one of your pawns closer to the promotion? All that matters is pushing the pawns, okay? And he did not do so. I'm checking the time. I capture. He pushes with check. I step over. And it's a complete draw because, yes, I'm going to get this into a queen. And basically what I'm going to have to do is give a million checks and sacrifice for both of these pawns or something. And I don't know. But he goes on the pawn chase, which there is a very simple thing that you can do. You draw a square. If it is your move and you are not inside of the square, you are not catching that pawn, regardless of where the king is. So if the king is here, or the king is here, or the king is here, or here, he is going to catch the pawn. If the king is here, or 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 here, anywhere outside of the square, and it is your move. And it is your move. That's the important thing. You got to calculate it on your turn. You can't calculate it on their turn, because then they can move the pawn forward, and the square gets a lot smaller. Okay? That's the square. This would be the old square. So you have to calculate it on your move. So all he had to do is say, okay, it's my move. Is my king inside of the square? The answer is no. So are you going to catch this pawn? The answer is no. So what you need to do is completely invest in your passed pawns. And how do you do so? I mean, I would probably push this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then I step over, and then you step over, and then that's checkmate. So let's see. Boom. Boom. I would have given this one. Oh, no, because then I step up. So you step in. We push. You give this check. If I step up, you step out of the way, okay? But then I'm making the queen. You're making the queen. I'm grabbing this pawn. Gets scary because we don't want to, like, have my king here and allow, like, this check to win the queen. But let's not get too far into the weeds. Long story short, he lost this game because he doesn't know something that you should learn at, like, 1,000 elo. You should just know that you're not going to catch this pawn. I have no idea what happened. What was he doing? Like, he was completely winning. He was completely winning, and then it was a draw. It was a draw, but he chases it, and now he's just completely losing. So he was winning, drawing, losing, all in the last, like, 10 moves of the game. And then this is pretty rudimentary. You cut the king off. So what we're doing here, he didn't leave the back rank. I guess he really couldn't. I guess this would have been the best move because it avoids being on one of the edges, okay? So run to the center if you're the king. If you're on the edge, you're in a bad spot. So, bada boom, bada bing, we cut him off like this. It's just the easiest way to pre-move, and we get a checkmate. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I am super excited about that because I gained 24 elo, which means I am now 2,000 rated, again, with no question mark. I am an official 2,000 rated player. Thank you so much for watching my video. I love you guys. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm not sure what's more accurate, but I can probably grab this pawn. Then you scoot back, then I hit you with a check.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we do a little shuffle with the queen, where
Rook H1.
I think that is essentially mate.
Yeah.
Because the bishop is pinned, so the bishop can't block. So how long was that? 7 minutes?
Okay, crushed.
That's okay. Let's do another one. Well, you know what? Let's reduce the time.
I think you want to go faster. Okay.
Let's go faster. Let's do like a 5 minute, 5-0.
Okay, let's see here.
Because the viewer is looking right now. If you see his rating right here, 2022 in bullet. So he absolutely plays fast.
Increment still?
I suppose we could do just like 1 second increment.
Okay.
Just to, because it really does suck.
You didn't need any on that game for the record. It took less than 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah, that took like 7 minutes.
all right, I'll play something more conventional, even though strongly opposed to the. I mean, just for me, the database games are nice, but if you look at Stockfish or Alpha Zero, for example, you can literally open with any piece.
Yeah, essentially, you can do almost whatever you want in the opening, and it's an equal position. I've learned that. So kind of the reason. I mean, I think I step back, and sort of the reason that I put my bishop on d6 is to coax that pawn push in. Because what I'm going to go for is I'm going to step back, and then I have this pawn push here on b6, and so we're going to essentially go for that. You can defend. So if you don't defend, you don't need to play. Take a deep breath. We're not in a rush, because this I believe loses a pawn. I can take your pawn, and if
Yeah,
you capture back, then I take with my knight.
true. Even worse.
I don't think that's even worse. I essentially have to take here, because if
With
I
the bishop, you still gain another pawn.
I'm not sure what I
If
want to
you
do.
take you take on e5, I take you on e5, and then you still gain, yeah. So it's like
So I do still grab a
it's not,
pawn.
yep, it's not a great move. You'll be +2.
And so now once we're in this phase of the game, so you probably need to castle. I would
Possibly.
say.